Funny how everybody loved to debate till the judges say they lost. Funny how everybody claim they want smoke till the scorecards come across.
My name is my name.
Everybody gangster when the verdict go their way. Taking victory laps, posting on social media all day. But let them catch an L, now the judges all corrupt. Now the rules wasn't fair, now the platform messed up. When you won, it was justice. When you lost, it was rigged. When the spotlight was on you, man, you danced a little jig.
Funny how the narrative changes overnight. You a scholar on Monday, by Tuesday ready to fight.
Y'all don't want accountability, you want applause. Want championship treatment without championship flaws. See, debate ain't about feelings, it's about evidence, argument, and skill. Sometimes you climb the mountain,
sometimes you fall down the hill. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
but it's the other way.
When you win, it's all love.
When you lose, it's another day. You want it to be one way,
But it's the other way.
the same judges you praised last month ain't fair today. You want it to be one way,
But it's the other way.
the facts don't bend for feelings, no matter what you say. My name, my name.
The hate got me laughing. It really tell the story. If the platform wasn't working, why they obsessed with my glory? Every week somebody got an opinion to proclaim, but they still tuning faithfully. That's free promotion of the name. Paradigm shift, TV 314 still standing, while critics in the comments keep demanding and demanding. See the infamous perspective, giving viewpoints room to breathe. The black church files digging deeper than was seen. The Kemetic takeover, bringing culture to the floor. The GT perspective, asking questions they ignore. Here you get many choices. Ladies' night, giving divas voices. Different minds, different paths, different truth. Reaching the elders and the youth. But it's the other way.
You said the platform needed you, but somehow you still stayed. You wanted to be one way,
But it's the other way.
the show keeps moving forward.
We ain't ducking no smoke. Yeah, the infamous Paradigm Shift TV 314 Worldview Wars Debate League. Bring that smoke. We ain't ducking no smoke. Bring the fire, let it breathe. Arguments get buried when they step into the lead. 3-4 stamp. Put the pressure on your throat. Worldview war. Nah, we ain't ducking no smoke. DMG step in, whole atmosphere shift. Paradigm branded, every bar come equipped. Talk big online, better stand on the quote, cause we came for the fire. We ain't ducking no smoke. Dark room, sharp mind, let the wordplay cut. Weak logic get smoked when the questions erupt. No bluff in the building, no running, no choke. If you claim that you got it, then come prove what you spoke. Facts over feelings, put the claim on trial. Worldview wars, make them walk through the fire. Chin check, hit. Watch the whole tone change. One bad argument, get erased from the game. We ain't ducking no smoke, bring the fire, let it breathe. Arguments get buried when they step into the lead. 3-4 stamps, put the pressure on your throat. Worldview wars. Nah, we ain't ducking no smoke. The infamous DMG Paradigm Shift TV 314 Worldview Wars. The argument. Bring the pressure. Bring the smoke.
Hey, welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, the infamous DMG, and we are here with the very first tandem division debate in Worldview Wars Debate League history. Listen, before we get into our spiel, y'all already know, I gotta do my spiel. With that being said, I want to say Hotep to all my Kemetic brothers and sisters. I want to say God bless to all my Christian brothers and sisters. I want to say Assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. Shalom to all my Israelite brothers and sisters. I want to say Islam. I said all my Israelite brothers and sisters. I'm tripping. Anyway, Islam to all my Moorish brothers and sisters. I want to say peace to all my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. I want to say halito to all my Abo brothers and sisters. Salute to all my atheist brothers and sisters. I want to say bless up to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. I knew I forgot one last time. Last and certainly not least, I want to say Jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're black, I'm with you, and I hope that you're with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. We can't have unity without uniformity. And last and certainly not least, we can't disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
We are live. We have the Kemetic Express with our brother, the eye smiter, Jose Francis, and the Kemet infomonger himself, the real Kemetic scientist, Mr. Cab. They are taking on the Legion of Gnosis, the notorious RBE, and Darkness, the Shadow. Two teams enter, one champion will lead. Now, per usual, we will have the results this Thursday. Our two primary judges have been selected, as has our alternate. So, we will have those judgments for you this Thursday. Now, if they cannot join us live, I will read their scorecard or they will send in a video. Either way, we will have the results and you will know who the judge is that sent those results in. There will be no mystery. Those days are over. No one has to guess if anybody is secretly the judges. No one has to guess if it's a conspiracy. You will know who the judges is. They are real people in the community, etc., etc. If the two primaries agree, we have ourselves a unanimous decision. If the two primary judges disagree, then we bring in the alternate. They help us make the decision, and it'll be a split decision. Either way, our first Tandem Division Champions will be crowned here in the Worldview Wars Debate League. All right. So we established that the Kemetic Express would be going first, but before we get into that, we're going to allow these two teams to introduce themselves, starting with the Legion of Gnosis. We're going to start with the notorious RBE. Talk to him.
Shout out to the platform. I appreciate Brother DMG for allowing me to come on the platform once again. I appreciate these Kemetic brothers for giving me an opportunity to as well. It's your boy Ramo, do one folks standing up. We're here to take the titles, hopefully, we're here to bring straight Gnosis to show why Gnosticism is more practical than Kemeticism in today's time, speaking of 2026. I'll lay my plane there.
There it is. Darkness, the Shadow. Talk to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just here. We're gonna do it, one by one. We're just gonna break down each metric and what it takes to, come to a conclusion pertaining to the practicality of today's time. What's more useful? What's beneficial? What do we benefit from? All the positive aspects pertaining to our belief. We're gonna demonstrate it tonight.
All right, and we're gonna go over to the Kemetic Express, starting with the Kemet Infomonger, aka the real Kemetic scientist. Talk to the people. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Peace, peace, peace to the chat, peace to the panel. As the song says, we ain't ducking no smoke. Uh, Kemetic Express is here. We ready. We ready to go. And it's going to be a good one. As Gnosticism versus Kemetism, which is more practical in 2026. And we're standing on Kemetism. Kemet is more practical in 2026.
There it is. And last and certainly not least, Mr. Window Hopper himself, Mr. We ain't ducking no smoke personified. If we ain't ducking no smoke was a person, it would be this brother right here. I almost want to call him Mr. Paradigm Shift. Brother Jose Francis, the eye smiter. Talk to the people.
I'm the formerly humble Jose Francis. As I said earlier, I am going to bring light to darkness, and he will no longer be a shadow, and the esoteric knowledge of Brother Remo Bantu will be exposed. That's what we're doing tonight. So that's it. We ready? I'm itching. I done jumped out the window and I hit the ground running. So let's go, let's go, let's go, DMG, let's go. I'm ready. You're not
Man,
playing tonight. Let's go.
You stay taking shots, bro. You stay taking shots, man. All right, family. Listen, each team has a 3-minute opening. Each team will have 2 15-minute rounds, one to provide their argument and their rebuttal. Each team will have a 12-minute chin check, a Q&A to chin check their opponent, which means they will have 12 minutes to ask their opponents, as many questions as they possibly can within that 12-minute time frame. Now, because it is a team debate, if they have a specific question for a specific team member, they have to call that team member out before they ask their question. Meaning, if the Kemetic Express has a specific question for Darkness to Shadow, they have to say, Darkness to Shadow, step up. If they have a specific question for the notorious RBE, they have to say, Ramo, step up. Vice versa. If the Legion of Gnosis has a specific question for the Kemet Infomonger, Steve, step up. Or Jose, step up. Please remember that so they will know specifically who you're talking to. However, if it's not specific to either team member, and it's just a general question for either of them to answer, just ask the question, and either of them can ask. And you can tell them, either of you can ask, but please ask. Remember, it's the team who's asking the questions time to manage. Not mine, not your opponent. Do not let your opponent stall, because they can stall on answering your questions and let your time elapse. It is your time to manage. The chin check is mano a mano. I step back as the moderator. Now, another moderator may manage it differently. It's up to the moderator how they manage it. But me, I let y'all go mano a mano and let the strategy play out. Now, if it stalls too much, I will get involved and say, can we please get the question asked and answered? You do have 3 timeouts. Please use them, but it's up to you whether you use them or not. Timeouts should be used to reset, reestablish what it is you're trying to do, get things back in order, etc., etc. That being said, if there are no questions for me, there are 3 minutes on the clock. The Kemetic Express will have a 3-minute opening and the time will start when they start talking. Legion of Gnosis, please keep your mics muted. Any questions for me from either team before we start?
I need to. Can I? Let me put up. Can you see it? Let me. Yeah. Is it big screen? Is it moving?
Yep.
All right. All right. Jose's doing this.
All right. Time to start when Jose start talking.
In this presentation, Jose Francis and Steve, aka Mr. Cav, will demonstrate the practical nature of Kemetic cosmology and its profound relevance in 2026 and beyond. We will bridge the gap between ancient Egyptian wisdom and contemporary challenges, showing how the timeless principle of Ma'at, balance, truth, order, and harmony offer actionable frameworks for modern living by exploring the natural not merely as distinct myths but as living forces of nature and consciousness. We will unlock highly effective tools for personal empowerment, societal structure, and narrating the complexities of the modern world. Next slide, please, brother. The Kemetic parent is more practical in 2026 than the Gnostic child. Gnosticism borrowed or stole from ancient Kemetic metaphysics. Introduction. Gnosticism is a fusion of Kemetic metaphysics, Greek philosophy, Jewish scripture, early Christian mysticism, Persian dualism, and mystery religion initiation. Gnosticism is a product of Roman occupied Alexandria's 1st and 2nd century multicultural intellectual world. Give credit where credit is due. A portion of what the opposition can attempt to present as practical Gnosticism for 2026 is in actuality Kemetic metaphysics. The ops may maintain emanations, which is an ancient Kemetic cosmological concept. Emanations from a primordial source, and Kemetic spirituality refers to a gradually unfolding creation from noon. The consciousness field, which is the primordial state of being before creation, where particles of energy and matter emerged. From noon came a tomb, a self-created deity. A tomb is the first being to emerge from the darkness and endless watery abyss, also known as the noon, that existed before creation. A tomb is a product
1 minute.
of energy and matter similar to an atom contained within the fundamental noon and the consciousness field. This creative evolutionary process continues down throughout successive generations of divine Kemetic principles to produce structured reality. This is not mythology, but is an order philosophical cosmology, similar to a map of how existence flows from the infinite into the finite. Okay. Right. So that's time.
All right, I stopped it with 17 seconds left. We will reset for the Legion of Gnosis to do their 3-minute opening. Let me drop our brother Steve presentation down. All right. Rainbow or darkness, will either of you be sharing your screen?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put up my screen here. One moment. One moment here.
All right, so you need me to make that big then. All right.
I'm clicking it now. Okay. I think this is it. All right. Let me know if the screen pops up. My screen
Okay.
share.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let me make it. Let me make a suggestion
Oh,
for you. I don't know if you can make that bigger because we seeing it say upgrade and some other stuff. I don't know if. I mean, if it don't matter to you, it don't matter to us. But
what do you
What
mean?
about mine?
Yeah,
You
because
see mine?
I don't have my slides.
Do you see mine as DMG? You see my presentation up?
let me see. I see it down there. It say unnamed PNG.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is that
All right,
yours,
darkness.
Ramo?
Nah, that's yours, Darkness.
All right, darkness is
All right.
ready to go. Is ready to go whenever you're ready. Time to start when you start talking.
Um, you could put a the one you sent him. You sent it to him, Ramo. Because if that one works, I'll use that one. But if not, I'll use this one for the first round.
This is just a 3 minute introduction. So whatever y'all want, what y'all want to do.
All right. My my 3 minute introduction is going to consist of me breaking down the progression of Kemet into today's
Hold on,
Gnosis.
darkness. So this is your 3 minute intro.
Um, yeah, it's my. Oh well, I mean the intro for the before the first round.
Right.
So
This
this
is
isn't
just a
the
three.
official first round.
No, this is
Yeah,
just a
this for the first
three.
round. Look, just bring
Each.
them, bring up my presentation real fast.
All right. Did y'all not hear what I was saying? Each of y'all get a 3 minute opening before the first round.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this. Well, then I guess this is then most
Okay,
definitely.
So
got
this
you,
is the
got
three.
you. All
This is the
right,
3 minute
then
opening.
got you, got you, got you. All right. Well, I'll use a little bit of this for the 3 minute opener.
All right. Time starts when you
Um.
start talking.
All right. The structural shift from the state of orthopraxy to personal philosophy. Kemet, uh, spiritual gnosis, direct knowledge of the divine. In the ancient Egypt was bound to state rituals, sacred architecture, and hereditary priesthood. It was concrete and operational, centered around preserving Ma'at, the cosmic border, through physical acts, temple liturgies. I think I'm saying that wrong, and funerary preparations, such as the Book of the Dead. However, the first century Rome, as Egypt traditions synchronized with Greek philosophy, like Platonism and Hermeticism, and Hellenistic hubs like Alexandria, Gnosis shifted from state sponsored temple rituals into abstract, eternalized, and philosophical systems accessible to individuals seeking outside of a royal priesthood. The the cosmological realignment, matter versus sacred, or the matter versus the prison. This is the perspectives or worldviews, if you will, the belief system, if you summarize it, between Gnosticism and Kemet. It matter as being sacred. Gnosticism, matter as a prison. Kemet, ancient Egyptian theology did not view the material world as inherently evil or lesser matter. Hem, known as the Black Fertile Earth, was a sacred vessel where divine consciousness manifested. Physical preservation, like mummification, and earthbound cosmic alignment were essential for their spiritual evolution. However, first century Roman era Gnosticism developed a much more dualistic model. Influenced by Middle Platonism, Roman Gnostics began viewing the physical world as a trap created by a flawed demiurge. Spiritual
One
knowledge
minute.
transformed in Spiritual knowledge transformed into a method for the soul to escape the physical realm entirely rather than to sacralize it. Lit, literary and conceptual codification. I'll end it there. Yeah, we're going to pretty much be just giving you the overall breakdown between the two and why it is that Gnosticism is just more practical.
All right. Time is reset at 15 minutes. We're going to drop this down. And I want everybody to know we do have 3 judges. So for those who feel that there is some things that may not be kosher, the judges will make those determinations. That being said, Kemetic Express, the
Steve is up.
clock is reset at 15 minutes. I will add the presentation back. Time will start when you start. You got 15 minutes to go.
1 second, DMG. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hey, I like how you switched to the mummy. I didn't think you was gonna like that mummy, Steve, but I guess you actually liked it.
I love that mummy, DMG. That mummy just be striking fear in people's hearts. That's my boy right there.
Hey man, if you and Jashu meet at Night of the Living Arguments, man, that his devil persona and your mummy persona, that's gonna be a dope poster.
I love it. I love that mummy, man. Anyway, okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right,
No,
time starts.
okay, Gnosticism versus Kemetism, which is more practical in 2026? My oration will bang you in your jaw as I hit you in your heart with my very last drop of blood from the skull and bones of this Black African mystical society. Topic 1. As the Kemetic Express, Jose Francis and I, Kemet infomonger Mr. Cab, both agree that the long-standing academic influence and scholarly study of Kemet has a practical, positive impact in the lives of people in 2026. Definition: practical, concerned with the actual doing or use of something rather than with theory and ideas. Kemetism is not limited to the northern region of Africa, but is the study of foundational Black African contributions to art, science, spirituality, governmental structure, and politics that instills a practical sense of Black pride that diffuses into upwardly mobile wealth accumulation in 2026. The same cannot be said of Gnosticism. In 2026, Kemeticism is more practical than Gnosticism. Practicality occurs when there is a shift from abstract theories to physically applying learned information in real world situation, causing a transition to knowledge for an enhanced lifestyle. And Team Gnosis has to show this shift from the abstract to practicality. How does Gnosticism do this? Kemetism, on the other hand, knowing the history of Kemetic and that Black African people are the builders of megalithic pyramids, temples, and sculptured artwork, is a testament to Black accomplishment and enduring involvement in the development of other people's civilization. In 2026, the Black diaspora is more knowledgeable of the impact of African people in the genesis of advanced art, science, and math that nurtures a sense of pride and a strong desire to continue learning for upward mobility and wealth accumulation. Yes, upward mobility and wealth accumulation are very practical in 2026. In 2026, Kemetism transitions into practical black pride and accomplishment. Know thyself, have knowledge of self and high civilization and culture. The Kemetic pyramids were constructed using precise geometric principles, including proportional design, alignment with cardinal points, east, west, north, and south, and mathematical constants such as the golden ratio and pi. Definition: golden ratio. In art, it is a special proportion about 1 to 1.618 that many artists use to create balanced, harmonious composition. And that is from Artology. Pi, the numerical value of the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, approximately 3.14159. In 2026, pride in knowing the endeavors of Black African civilization and its people transitions into real world academic political success. And there I have an image of the Obamas. No, the Obamas aren't Kemetic, but they know that they are descended from Black Africans, and they definitely know their history. And they ascended to the highest office in American politics. So that is the practicality of knowing of, as I said, as I defined Kemetism as not only North Africa, but the entire continent. So it is very practical, knowing the history of Kemet. So the study of ancient Kemet can be a practical source of income in 2026. In the United States, there is no PhD program in Gnosticism. On the other hand, a PhD trained Kemetologist in the United States earns about $100,000 per year on average, but salaries vary widely depending on whether a person works in academia, museums, or private research. On the university level, there are entire departments dedicated to the study of ancient Kemet, such as Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, their Department of Northeastern, and really it should be, Near Eastern, and it really should be North African Studies, offers formal Kemetology training in both a Bachelor's of Arts and a PhD level. Kemetology is one of the department's 4 core concentrations. Then you have Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. It is one of the premier Kemetology institutions in the US, offering a Bachelor of Arts and a PhD programs in Kemetology and Assyriology. Students trained in Kemetic languages, literature, history, archaeology, and material cultures. UCLA University of California, Los Angeles offers one of the few U.S. graduate programs specializing in Kemetology and Nubiology, which with vigorous training in Kemetic languages of phrases, archaeology, history, art, and Nubian studies. I say again, in the United States, there is no PhD program in Gnosticism, and that is the practicality of it. In studying ancient Kemet, one can also earn a PhD and then get a job in academia, in museums, or in private research, and earn up to $100,000 a year or more. That is the practicality of it in 2026 and throughout. There is a through line in scientific practices from ancient Kemet to 2026. Kemetic medicine is empirical, not magical. Definitions: empirical, observations made with the 5 senses and instrumentation to gather information and data. Kemetic practices are precursors to the critical thinking, problem-solving technique of the scientific method, which is the through line from ancient Kemet to 2026 science. Steps of the scientific method. Step 1, develop a question. Step 2, do research about that question to state a hypothesis. And in that hypothesis, the hypothesis mentions the independent variable, which is the one thing that's going to change in the experiment, and the dependent variable, which are the measurable results. Step 3, design the experiment. Step 4, while the experiment is running, gather information. And step 5, state a conclusion. Was the hypothesis correct, or does it need to be modified a bit? And once modified, repeat the experiment to get the same results and publish your work. So that is the scientific method, which is used today to train medical professionals, scientists, and is a critical thinking technique, and it has origins in ancient Kemet. Practical application of Kemetic scientific methods is essential for producing quality healthcare professionals. Kemetic physicians and this is in the past, relied on observations, experience, and practical evidence, even though their culture also used magic and religion. Yes, ancient Kemet was very spiritual. They observed symptoms, recorded case histories, tested treatments, and refined remedies based on results. The scientific method that burgeoned in ancient Kemet is still used to educate and train scientists in 2026 for upward mobility and wealth accumulation, which are thoroughly practical and realistic. The average salary of a medical doctor in the United States is about $385,000 per year based on the most recent 2026 national compensation data. The figure comes from multiple large physician salary databases, including Medscape, Salary Doctor, Doximity, MGMA, and AMN Healthcare. Connections to Kemet and the Express Tandem debate team are more practical in 2026 than Gnosticism. Kemetic medical practices and scientific thought were foundational to empirical reasoning, and that is to observe, diagnose, treat, and evaluate. Even though Kemet was a spiritual and religious society, its medical papyri shows practical evidence-based reasoning. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is one of the oldest known medical texts, dating to approximately 1600 BCE, though it likely reflects knowledge from earlier periods in ancient Kemet. It is a trauma treatise that systematically describes 48 clinical cases, including fractures, dislocations, wounds, and other injuries, often with instructions for treatment and prognosis. Remarkably, it contains the first known reference to the brain and demonstrates a scientific observational approach to medicine, including cases where the physician acknowledges that a patient cannot be saved, and that is from the University of Chicago. In 2026, Kemetism for
5 minutes.
for Black pride and upward mobility. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is a medical and scientific evidentiary through line that serves to support Kemet as foundational to Western medical practices in 2026. To dispel and replace negative historical narratives about Black people and to encourage upward mobility and wealth accumulation, acknowledgement should also be given to the Kemetic scientific method through line from Africa to the diaspora in 2026. The same cannot be said of Gnosticism. The average salary of a registered nurse in the United States is about $101,600 to $102,700 per year, based on the most recent 2025-2026 Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Paut Neteru, ancient Kemetic spiritual practice, is still relevant in 2026. I provided definitions and historical facts. Facts are evidences that the Paut Neteru was practiced in ancient Kemet. It is not being said that the Paut Neteru, as practiced today, is an exact replica of its original form. Most important, however, is the intent of the ancient or contemporary practitioner. Definitions. Paut Neteru, an ancient Kemetic concept meaning the company of the gods or bread of the gods. The Paut Neteru is also described as a cosmogram used in Kemet and later adopted by others. Cosmogram depicts the cosmology in a flat, sacred geometric form. They are used for various purposes, meditational, inspirational, and to depict structure, real or imagined, of the earth or universe. Kemetic cosmology was a mytho-religious framework that describes the universe as a sacred order system created and sustained by deities with deep connection to religion, astronomy, and daily life. And that's from kemeticmythology.com. As a contemporary 2026 practitioner of the Paut Neteru, I can attest to its benefits and positive results in gaining an education, upward mobility, and wealth accumulation. Paut Neteru, Kemetic spirituality, is still practical and relevant in 2026. Looking at the Pa'ut Neteru, it appears to be similar to the Kabbalah. Ra'un Nefer Amen Shechem, founder of Asero Set Society International, claims in Meta Neter that the Pa'ut Neteru is the progenitor to the Hebraic tree of life, Kabbalah. The Pa'ut Neteru predates Kabbalah by over 2,000 years, however. Concepts of the Neteru appear in the Old Kingdom at approximately 2600 BCE to 2200 BCE. Cosmological company of the gods, Pa'ut, and the Anuian creation myth is even older, rooted in pre-dynastic and early dynastic theology. This places the Pa'ut Neteru at about 4,000 to 5,000 years old. Relevance to this ancient Pa'ut Neteru, 4,000 to 5,000 year old spiritual practice is that it assisted the Kemetic with evolving one of the most advanced high cultural civilizations known to humankind. In 2026, practicality of the Pa'ut Neteru rituals and meditations is that it assists practitioners with consciousness elevation and behavior modification that may result in upward mobility and increased physical resources. In 2026, the Kemetic Pa'ut Neteru spiritual cultivation system is very real and practical.
1 minute.
Words of power. Shechem and Shechem, Ra'un Nefer Amen, explicitly frames Hekau as mantras, comparable to those in other spiritual traditions. This is the foundation of his entire Pa'ut Neteru spiritual cultivation and behavior modification system. In classical Kemetic religion and spiritual system, Hekau are the technology of speech to activate divine forces. It is not magical spells in the Hollywood sense. It is vibrational ritual speech known to align the practitioner with cosmic order, Ma'at. In 2026, the Pa'ut Neteru is a practical framework that is realized during ritualized meditation for consciousness elevation and life-altering experiences, resulting in enhanced outcomes that may include wealth accumulation. The Pa'ut Neteru spiritual system
is time. That is time. Finish your thought.
Is practical in 2026. Kemetic priests use Hekau to invoke deities, protect the body, empower rituals, healing, and transform consciousness.
All right. We're going to drop the Kemetic Express. We're going to drop their presentation down for now. I want to take this time to shout out our esteemed brother Reggie Mabry in the building. It is an honor anytime I can see that brother in my chat. Appreciate you tapping in. Hopefully one day we can get you to judge one of these debates, whether it's a tandem debate or a single debate, but it's always an honor to see you in the chat. Salute to you. And we're going to reset the clock for 15 minutes for the Legion of Gnosis. Who gonna be sharing their screen? Will it be Brother Ramo or the Darkness?
I got Brother Darkness doing the first round, Ramo doing the second round, and the fight on stage.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna add Darkness to the screen. That is super little, Brother Darkness. I don't know if you can make that bigger for us, but that is super small right now. All right, it's bigger. You might want to move it to my right. There you go. A little bit more, maybe. Up, it got small again. There you go. Okay, I think you good. Well, you was good. Move it back over a little bit. Move it back to the left a little bit. It's all over the place now.
Oh, it was hard. A lot harder than I thought. Jeez, can't get in the center. All right.
Yeah.
How's it look?
If you I would make it a little bigger because it's very hard to see. We want the audience to be able to see it. I think you good right there. Stay right there.
All right.
I think that might be
This
as
is,
good as we're gonna get it. So time to
yeah.
start. Time to start when you start talking.
All right. Gnosticism versus Kemetism. We're going to find out which is more practical, the framework, right? Um, and we're going to go through it, right? So let's start off, and I apologize for the presentation, guys. I'm trying to get it together. And we're going to start with the core practical definition of practicality. And, geez, I can't get it centered. The core practical definition in 2026, a spiritual model is practical only if it directly addresses human psychology. It offers unshakable internal gnosis, and it operates independently of geography or physical artifacts and adapts seamlessly to modern digital life without dogmatic fragility. And the epistle test is being practical demands reproducibility and can an individual verify truth through direct inner realization known as gnosis, or must they rely on museum archives, dead languages, reconstructed geographical temples in foreign lands? Let's continue. The academic scholarship, the reality of gnosis. We have certain noted scholars within the realm of Gnosticism pertaining to the non-commodity findings, archaeological locations, history, you name it, translations, you name it. We have Dr. Karen King, Dr. Elaine Pagels, and The Practical Edge, which is an academic consensus that confirms Gnosticism is an internal technology of consciousness, making it immediately practical across any era, any spectrum of academia. Right? It's inner self discovery. The Reconstructionist dilemma. Modern Kemetism, including Kemetic orthodoxy, founded in 1988 by Tamara Sayuda, is openly acknowledged by its own practitioners as a modern reconstruction, not an unbroken ancient lineage, exposing its lack of practical efficacy. When a spiritual system relies entirely on modern academic reconstruction to piece together fragmented papaya, it functions as an academic hobby rather than a practical inner power. Kemetic and esoteric scholars on inner realization. The Hermetic Bridge. Scholars of ancient Egypt religion and Hermeticism note that the pinnacle of Egyptian theology ultimately transcends eternal polytheism into unmediated divine union, mirroring the core premise of Gnosis. This is where we get practical superiority. Even scholars studying African esoteric systems recognize that that clinging to literal Nile Valley reconstruction in the modern diaspora creates disconnect, whereas direct gnosis is universally practical all across the spectrum. Let's get to this real quick. Evidence opponents cannot debunk, which is universal. Independence from geography. Gnosticism requires no physical Nile, no physical temples in Giza, and no museum artifacts to remain practical. Practical autonomy. Gnosticism is a realization that operates directly within human consciousness. Opponents cannot debunk an internal state of direct spiritual awakening. Resilience to historical shifts. While archaeological finds constantly rewrite Egyptian reconstruction, Gnosis remains anchored in direct, present, and of the moment in reality. What opponents must debunk to prove Kemetism is practical? Well, let's look at the 2,000-year discontinuity to prove Kemetism is more practical. Opponents must debunk the historical reality of the theological blackout following the closure of the Philae Temple in 535 CE. How do you practice a dead state religion without a living priesthood? So essentially what this is saying is Kemet is not something that's being practiced today. Nobody knows when's the last time you've heard of a Kemet priest. We have Christians, we have Jews, we have Muslims, which is of the Abrahamic faith, which is basically of the same testimony that we are using for Gnosticism, which debunks that Kemet is even practical when nobody even knows what Kemet is. Gnosticism is rooted in Christianity, even though we have a flawed mainstream audience that is pushing Christianity in a flawed manner, and they're not actually using the book academically. That doesn't debunk the fact that nobody's talking about Kemet, but people are talking about Christianity, which is Gnosticism. So that's first and foremost. Gnostic sovereignty. Gnosticism teaches that human consciousness carries a divine spark trapped in a material illusion. Awakening this sparks breaks the external spiritual bondage instantly, making it deeply practical. Kemetic dependency. Kemetism requires elaborate shrine maintenance, food offerings, and a complex ritual calendar that is practically impossible for modern people to execute authentically in their daily lives. The Kemetic trap. Being bound to hieroglyphic translation errors and incomplete spells discovered in arid tombs. The Gnostic advantage, relying on direct spiritual intuition and transcendent perception that transcends any textual corruption, material artifacts. The conclusion is living awareness always outperforms archaeological guesswork in everyday practical application. This is from the Rice University Scholarship. Dr. April D. Connick demonstrates that ancient Gnostic texts were created precisely as practical spiritual manuals for escaping psychological imprisonment, proving their timeless practical utility. Unlike historical reenactments, Gnosticism provides immediate psychological tools for modern liberation. We're talking about psychology here, guys. And we also have the University of Amsterdam research. We're talking scholars right now, academic research right now. Dr. Hanegraaff emphasizes that Western esoteric traditions prioritize personal gnosis over institutional submission, securing maximum practical autonomy for the seeker. The practical result is seekers gain direct spiritual authority without needing temple clearance or external validation from modern Reconstructionist groups. Once again, this is dealing with the immaterial versus the material, the hidden versus the seen, principle and principality versus actual observations and breakdowns. Remember, guys, science gives you the how, spirituality gives you the why. The testimony, the immortal testimony gives you the why. Science only gives you the how. Let's keep it going. Practitioner reality, the Kemetic burden, and practical offerings. Modern practitioners struggle daily to provide authentic daily offerings like the Hefnu or the Netjeru in urban apartments. They have a calendar disconnect. Ancient Egyptian festival calendars align with Nile flood cycles, making them completely impractical for modern global life. The Gnostic contrast. Gnosis requires only inward stillness, making it infinitely more practical anywhere on earth for anyone that has human consciousness. Slide 14. What opponents must debunk is the historical break when it comes to Kemet. Let's look at where Kemet falls. The 15,000-year gap, or I'm sorry, 1500-year gap. Opponents defending Kemetism must bridge the historical silence between the 6th century and the 20th century. Why? Because Gnosticism silenced it. European American occult revivals. Why do they fail? Because there is no unbroken transmission. Modern Kemetism remains an artificial construct rather than a practical living ancestral engine. Psychological armor against modern chaos. Archontic control systems. Gnostic cosmology gives modern individuals a practical framework to identify and resist psychological manipulation by media and their institutions. Inner liberation, transforming internal awareness, cuts through modern anxiety far better than any ancient funerary liturgies. Okay? Let's look at the scholarly consensus of the Nag Hammadi text. Let's see what it says. It says that Dr. James Robertson's findings, one of the lead translators of the Nag Hammadi library, Dr. Robertson proved that Gnostic texts emphasize immediate personal transformation over any ritual compliance, cementing their practical edge. Practicality is spirituality that requires actionable inner transformation, which Gnosticism actually delivers
5 minutes.
directly to you.
5 minutes.
We got the myth of the resurrected state religion. Let's look at it real quick, guys. We have the pharaonic structure. Ancient Egyptian religion was inextricably bound to the divine office of the pharaoh and centralized state apparatus. Modern impracticality is attempting to run a state religion without a state or a pharaoh is fundamentally impractical in the 21st century. So we don't even have Kemet priests or anybody that's of the Kemet faction or belief system, which means worldview. We have no one that can assume positions of power to lead a civilization under the Kemet practical dogma. Once again, Kemet is impractical because there are no individuals assuming positions of authority that take on that belief. We have Christians, we have Muslims, we have Jews that are taking on positions of authority. And the reason why is because these positions require high responsibility and they require a ratio of perfection versus imperfection. They are not allowed to make many mistakes. If I'm correct, they are not allowed to make any mistakes at all, bare minimum at best. They're not allowed to make mistakes, so they take on these positions that have high responsibility roles, and they take on these positions because they're astute, they're inept, they have the ability, the capacity to do it. Why? Because they're Christians, they're Jews, they're Muslims. They understand the world enough to understand the testimony that's actually practical versus the testimony that isn't practical, which is Kemet. That's why it died a long time ago, and no one's speaking Kemet today because Kemet is impractical. It's something that was outgrown like snakeskin. Okay. Um, let's look at the unassailable evidence, inner sovereignty. The final proof is this: no opponent can confiscate, legislate against, or disprove an individual's direct internal awakening, meaning nobody can sketch an image of your thoughts. Nobody can grab your thoughts and put it in a cage. Nobody can do anything to your awareness. Your awareness is the gnosis, it's the knowledge, it's the mystic understanding. It's basically saying that even though I see something, I know that there's things that I don't see, which are at work. It's also a principle dealing with the leavening agents, which is, if you're a cook, you would understand. There's dough. If you make dough without any leavening agent, you put no leavening in it, the dough will sit flat. But if you put leavening in it, it'll rise. You'll give puffiness to your dough. You'll make bread that's wholesome and full. But as Christians and the Gnosis, the Gnostics, we use that as an analogy. We use that as a proverbial expression when we say, "Oh, watch out for the hidden leavening," because it's basically saying there are things that are hidden that are causing things to move around. It's not just what you see; there are things that you don't see. All right, and that's what the Gnosticism is about. And this is just the summary of my opening round. The case is sealed. We have established through Harvard, Princeton, Amsterdam, and many more undeniable practical logic that Gnosticism outperforms Kemeticism. Now Ramo can take over from round two, and he can go ahead and crush them and cement the deal to prove. Well, we already just use academics. We already just use universities, statistics groups, all survey groups, all tie and human. We're talking each individual to the collective consensus, and they all come together to say, "Kemet what? Kemet who?" It's about Christian. It's about Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is rooted in the Gnosticism, and Jesus Christ gave us answers that we would not have had he not came down in the flesh and spake his his piece, which was not necessarily a person that came down like me or you, but it was more about the timeline and human civilization advancing over time through a timeline since Kemet all the way to first century Rome. We advanced Kemet. Kemet is now advanced. Kemet is not in its infantile stage that you guys are holding on to and defending. Y'all are trying to defend the infantile state of Gnosticism, which is Kemet. Kemet is the early stages.
That is time. Finish your thought.
And Kemet is the early stages of Gnosticism. Gnosticism is the advancement that gave us the Constitution, the law and order, like the police and the FBI and all these things that we have today. It comes from the principle of Deuteronomy, which is rooted in the law, comes from inside you, which is your awareness, and that's what we're talking about. Why Gnosticism is more practical than Kemet.
All right. That was the conclusion of round 1. The Kemetic Express versus the Legion of Gnosis. Time is reset at 15 minutes. Mr. Cab, will you or brother Jose Francis, the Eye Smiter, be going in your second round? Unmute your mic.
I'm up, so you could share my screen.
All right, I am sharing the Eye Smiter Jose Francis's screen. Do you want to make it? I can make it bigger, but do you want to go to slideshow so the side slide's not showing? Go up, go over to your, see where it says slideshow?
I got it. Yeah.
Yep, go to slideshow and start from the beginning.
Yeah. I am. All right, so I am where I want to be. I'm on slide number 15.
All right, so if you go to slideshow,
You hear me?
So if you go to slideshow,
I did all that already.
slideshow.
I did that already.
No, you didn't. We still see your slides on the side, Jose.
Oh. Okay. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I did go to slideshow. It is on slideshow, DMP. You don't see that?
No,
you don't see that there? All right. I went to slideshow just now. I don't know what's going on there.
So when you click on slideshow, what do it say?
It says, start from the beginning.
And you want to start from your current slide. So it's not, so something is not moving for you then. Because I'm not seeing none of that. Unless everybody else seeing it and I'm not.
I am seeing it, but maybe I probably have to unshare what I'm sharing and share. That's probably what I have to do. So give me a second. Let me unshare this one. And share the other one. Oh, give me a second, sorry.
Jose, why don't you just let me put up my slides and then move my slides?
Yeah, do that. I'm gonna
because it's the same slides. All right, DMG?
Yeah, it's fine. However y'all want to do it. I just didn't want them to, to be thinking the slides moving and they're not.
I mean, I don't know if they're moving or not, but it wasn't slideshow. But I could.
No, he was share. Now that.
All right, so I got the Kemet Infomonger slides up.
You ready, Jose?
So,
just tell me move the slide when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there. Go back.
That one?
Go back one.
This one?
That one right there. No,
one?
the one before, the one after that.
This one?
That one right there. Now I got this. This is where the text is coming from. Waters budge. The gods of the Egyptians, page
All right, am I
388.
starting your time?
Yes, yes, 388 to 399.
Time
This is
starts.
this is my source, but his source is the Book of the Heavenly Cow, which was located in King Tutankhamun's tomb, which is the earliest known physical copy was found here. Then you have Seti the First. This tomb contains the longest, most complete, and best preserved version of the text. Then you got Ramses II and III. Both of these tombs also contain complete versions of the book, and Ramses the Sixth. Now I'm just going through this to actually tell you where the text comes from and give you some background. That's the 18th to the 20th dynasty. But I'm also doing this to rebut what darkness said because these are four versions of the same text. So what happens a lot of times when you see texts that are not complete, they find other more complete versions and complete it from another ancient text. So scholars are not just making this up and giving us foolishness. And we also have to ask them, where is his Gnostic church? Where's his Gnostic bishops and his Gnostic priests? Because I can show you one practitioner who is my partner Steve, and I can show you whole shrines that exist today, and you don't necessarily need in a suit. So that's a little bit of a response to what you said. So Steve, you can go ahead and move the slide for me. It says, God who created himself as he was in the sovereignty of man and of the gods and of creation. This text is called the destruction of mankind. So, and of the gods and of the creation, the one men and women were blaspheming and saying, behold his majesty, life, health, and strength has gone old. His bones are like silver, his limbs are like gold, his hair is like lapis lazuli. Real was his majesty listening to. Next slide. What mankind said. Said his majesty, life, health, and strength, which is a term shown in the spec. Health to those who are in his train. Call, bring me my eye, and Shu Tefnu, Gebnu, and the father and mother, Netchers, who live with me. When behold, I was in noon, together with my God Noon. Let him bring his ministers with him. Bring thou them in silence, that no one may see that mankind may not see, nor flee their hearts. Come thou with them into the great temple. Let them declare their counsel. Next slide, please. Fully I will enter into noon to the place wherein I was born. Let let him bring me these gods. Were those gods on both sides of him, bowing to the earth before his majesty? He spoke his words before the father of the firstborn nature, the maker of man, the king of rational being. They said before his majesty, speak to us, for we are listening to you. Say throughout to noon, O God firstborn, from whom I came into being. Let's go to the next slide. Ye ancestor gods, take ye heed to mankind, who came into being from my eye. They spake words against me. Tell me what ye would do about it. Take ye heed to it for me. Seek out a plan for me. I will not slay them until I hear what ye say concerning it, said the majesty of Noon, the son of Ra, God greater than he who made him, mightier than those who were created with him, sat on my throne. Great is the gear of thee, let thine eye be upon. Let's go. Those who blaspheme thee said to the majesty of Ra, behold ye them fleeing into the mountain. Their hearts were afraid because of what they had said. They said what they had said. They said can perceive it in resistance. When it brought down in the form of Hathor, went forth. Then this goddess, she slew mankind on the mountain, said the majesty of this nature, come in peace. Hathor, for the deed is done. Said the goddess, God giveth me life when I had power over mankind. It was pleasing to my heart, said the majesty of God. I will be master over them as king, destroying them. It came to pass that Sekhmet of the offerings of the night waded in their blood, beginning in Sutenhem, saith Ra, Paul, bring me messengers swift and speed. So what this text is saying is that Ra was in human form, and they were making fun of him. So he went to his council and said, what should I do? So what they actually did was When he said, "Bring me my eye," he was talking about Hathor. And when Hathor came, she was turned, she was later turned into segment and started bathing in the blood of humans because she was his avenger because he got mad. And as the text goes along, it explains how they fled into the mountains and how Ra had a change of heart and he called together, all of these different people to actually make a bear brew and put a red ochre dye into it to actually calm Sekhmet down. So what this text is really saying is that he had an emotional reaction to actually, something that happened to him, and then he sat down for a second and thought about it. And this relates to some of us as humans. We have these emotional reactions. We punch someone in the face, and then people end up getting hurt. And then after all that, you say, "Well, hold on a minute. I have done an injustice, and I need to correct myself. I need to get back to myself and not let this emotion take me over." How much time do I have, DMG? Time check, DMG.
8 minutes and 47 seconds.
Right. So let me read the rest.
If I could just rebut. So based on what Brother Darkness was saying, if Gnosticism is so practical, then his slides would have been legible. And the fact that his slides aren't legible is an indication of how impractical Gnosticism is. Because if he was so knowledgeable, he would have been able to make slides that are legible. Also, he's bringing up stuff he's talking about Kemetic spirituality. I talked about the academic study of Kemet on the bachelor's level and the PhD level, how that can help people to earn an income and also results in practical upward mobility. I mentioned the scientific method and how that has origins in ancient Kemet. I mentioned math and science. There's lots of I mentioned medicine. I mentioned a medical papyrus. There's lots of things that I mentioned that Brother Darkness is not being well. He is making assumptions on what I was going to present on. And I presented on the practical nature of the study of Kemet and Africa in general, and how that helps groups of people to understand their history and their origin, and that their accomplishments and their contributions to humanity and civilization in general. So some of the things that Darkness was saying it's not true, it's not factual, and
And
it's
this is
rather biased. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
right. And this is why I pointed out that this text can be found in 4 different places. Because it shows you that if they have one that's incomplete, they can find a more complete version. Thank you for that, by the way. A more complete version of the text. And yes, you do have Kemetic priests such as the Bar Jabari sides, and you have shrines. You have our brother here, the Sarset Society, with the brother Shechem Shechem. You definitely have that. You definitely have them presenting text. Now, what Dwayne didn't do in all of that, he presented zero text. He presented zero actual evidence of how the text and the understanding and all of that is practical. He just simply said, Kemet had some break, and because Kemet had a break and because there's no suit, you cannot practice that. How can he prove that? He doesn't know. He's just making up something from, as my brother said, his own biased view or lack of understanding that yes, the Nasuti would have been one who would have regulated Ma'at based on his position. But there's nothing that says because there is no longer a Nasuti, Ma'at is no longer valuable, and you cannot practice it. And as I said, you can reconstruct ancient text from ancient text to understand what's going on. We're not strictly relying on things like this because, as you can see, I made certain corrections to what was being said in this particular document, and you can do that.
Also, darkness is disingenuous. He's making it seem as though mainstream Christianity is in alignment with Gnosticism. He is forgetting to
as
mention
well
that
as
mainstream Christians view Gnostics as heretics. So, and then also he's mentioning
Judaism
Five minutes.
as well
Jews and
Five
Muslims.
minutes.
as
Jews and
Islam too,
Muslims are
Steve.
not
He's trying to
Christians,
say
and they're not Gnostics. So he's conflating a whole bunch of information here, and he's being rather
neither are Muslims.
disingenuous. Yes, Jose.
Neither are Muslims. Neither are Muslims. He's taking
No,
all of that, putting that together, and saying that's Gnosticism. He's even trying to go back to Kemet and say Kemet is Gnosticism, and Kemet is less than Gnosis. How can you say that when that system existed as a unified system for 3,000 years? That doesn't count. The,
the
the
very
Greek
same
dynasty
system
brought them
that they
together.
borrowed from or stole from, the very same
Exactly.
system that they borrowed from or stole from, and then you're saying that
Exactly.
you made it better, but you borrowed and you stole from it. Okay, Jose.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Jose.
That's exactly true. What you're saying is exactly true. He's not showing anything to back up what he's saying. He's making quotes and standing up here making bold quotes with actual no proper actual quotes. You understand? He's not doing any proper actual quotes. He doesn't have any textual quotes. He's conflating Gnosticism with everything on the planet because he thinks everything on the planet is not Gnostic, which is not true. You cannot compare that whatever that is to over 7,000 years of understanding, 7,000 years of culture, a 3,000 year what they call monarchy. There's no comparison. You cannot take the parent and throw the parent out and all of a sudden say the child is greater. You can't show me one Gnostic temple, one Gnostic priest. You cannot show me nothing organized about Gnosticism in 2026. You just went on a tangent about all of that and you mischaracterized what ancient Kemet is. That is correct. And you can't come fumbling and bumbling and just making random statements. That's not how this works.
You want to
You have to
continue with your slideshow?
you have to get your things. Well, I pretty much explained it, so I don't
But what
necessarily.
about the part about the moral of the story?
The moral of the moral of the story is that he actually the moral of the story is that he actually calmed himself down for 2 minutes and said, "Listen, these are my children. I need to calm down and I need to forgive them and I need to stop this bloodshed." So I explained to you what he did in order to stop the bloodshed. He put her to sleep, and when she woke up, she was calm. So essentially, he gave her this 1,000 barrels of beer mixed with red ochre. You understand? To calm her down because originally she was segment. No, originally she was hetero. Then she became segment, and then she was calmed down. You understand? So this is what I'm trying to show you that even in modern times, anger is not the best thing. Anger is not the greatest thing that you need to do because you're gonna regret it later on. If you punch someone in the face, they fall down and they die, and you're going to jail for 3,000 and 2,001 years when you could have taken the time to just relax and calm down. So this, as I said, this is the text here. I didn't necessarily read the whole text because I didn't
One
necessarily
minute.
want to.
1 minute.
I didn't necessarily want to eat up the time with reading the whole text in that way. So
And
I
like I
figured
said, I
I could
a small part of my presentation was about the Pawut Neteru, which is the practice that a part of the practice that Osero said. I also mentioned about behavior modification. So we meditate, and how do we meditate? We meditate to change our behavior. So, for example, as the text that Jose read about Ra and Sekhmet and anger, what we would do is that we would meditate and go into trance, which is very practical. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a Kemetic practitioner to do it, but you can meditate and then see yourself being more calm. in real world situations. So there is, so here Jose is presenting a text, a Kemetic text, where Ra changed his behavior and he realized that he was doing that segment that he summoned segment, and she was doing harm to his children, and then behavior changed. So the moral of that story is um, that in the Kemetic tradition, that we should be mindful of our behavior, and that we have techniques and we have methods in order to modify or to change our behavior. And that is very practical and important in 2026, and it is a lesson that can be borrowed from this Kemetic text that Jose presented to you. And Brother Darkness, you were making up, you were talking a whole bunch of stuff that had very little to do with what. And I'm not saying that you were making up stuff, and I don't know where you were getting that information from, because it's incorrect about temples. And no, also the Kemetic spirituality is also traditional African spirituality. That is the if you want to talk about the through line, or the spiritual practice, it is also
That is time. I
African
couldn't hit my
traditional
button. Y'all
spirituality.
had a few more. Y'all probably had like 10 more seconds because for some reason I couldn't hit my button. But finish your thought.
No, Brother Darkness kept carrying on about like Kemetic religion and how you can't practice it, but they're missing the point that it's also a traditional African spirituality. So you can look to other African cultures, such as spiritual traditions, such as the Yoruba or the Akan. You can study with other groups of people. You can study with, there are other groups that you can study with if you want to kind of retrace African spirituality and Kemetic spirituality. So I don't know why he was focusing so much on African spirituality or Kemetic spirituality.
All right, all right. That is time. Let me remove Brother Jose's. Oh no, that's the Kemet Infomonger. Let me remove the presentation. I want to add. All right, who's up for the Legion of Gnosis? Will it
I'm going. I'm
be
going. I'm
all
going.
right? The young
You see my
blood from the
presentation?
STL.
You see
All
my
right,
presentation?
is that your presentation?
Yes, sir. Where it say Ramo take the floor, round two begins.
I don't see that. Let me remove that. Let me hold on. So this is what I got, Ramo, and I don't think that's it.
Okay, let me see.
Take some time, see if you can find it.
Okay, man.
All right, I think I got you now. All right. And you might want to try to make yours bigger as well. I expanded it as much as I could, but I don't know if you can move it up or not. Yep, there you go. I think you good right there. All right, time will start when you start talking. This is your 15-minute second round. The Kemetic Express just finished their second round. After this, we're going to everybody's favorite part of the debate, the chin check session. Time
Okay,
starts
can
when
you
you
hear me now?
start
All
talking. Yes, sir.
right, let's
Yes,
go. It
sir.
say Ramo takes the floor, round two begins. It say dismantling the opposition with absolute precision. Brother Dwayne, what he's shown, he built the fortress, right? Now I unleash the final proof showing why Gnosticism is undeniably more practical in 2026. All right, sorry, he said academic proof. Nag Hammadi versus the mortual tombs, right? It said the Nag Hammadi proves, right? It said it's created as accessible manuals for living souls to achieve liberation from worldly illusions, offering immediate daily utility. The mortual text, right? It proves that Egyptian pyramid text and Book of the Dead were engineered exclusively for deceased pharaohs only, not for liberation, not for inner gnosis, not for practical daily lives like we do dealing with gnosis or anybody dealing with any type of form of religion. But this specifically deals with the Egyptian pyramid, the Egyptian pyramid text and the Book of the Dead were engineered exclusively for deceased pharaohs, making them practically useless for living modern humans. So this was only for the pharaohs. It wasn't for modern humans. So how is this practical in 2026? Right? It said the modern reality, awakening versus role play. Right? It's a lapping versus real power. Even honest Even honest Kemetic organizers admit members struggle with basic rituals requirements, turning spirituality into historical consuming rather than practical powers. Gnosticism requires no costumes or imported artifacts, just pure, undeniable spiritual awareness. Sorry about that. Now say the practicality comparatives matrix. The matrix, Gnosticism. Then on the right we got modern Kemeticism. It say accessibility, universal inner consciousness. That's Gnosticism. Modern Kemeticism. It say restricted, reconstructed shrines. Right. So now we got lineage, direct mystical awakening. Right. The concept of Gnosticism was already in Kemeticism before the terminology of Gnostic or Gnosis. Let's get that understand. The concept of Gnosticism was already in motion before the terminology of Gnostic or Gnosticism or Gnosis, right? So it's a lineage again, direct mystical awakening, modern Kemeticism, modern 20th century reconstruction. So as you can see, according to our debate, our opponents, they did not show Kemeticism was more practical than Gnosticism as of 2026. They did not debunk what brother Dwayne brought out, showing that it was a modern reconstructed system. They did not debunk that liberation came from inner knowing. So let's continue, right? Daily use, Gnosticism. It's an immediate mental application. Remember, brother Dwayne brought that out earlier in the first round. It's a modern Kemeticism, rigged rituals, timing, and offerings. Remember, brother Steve and them, what they spoke on in the first round about rituals and offerings and things like that, to Met and things like that, right? It said sorry about that, the optimistic self-sufficiency in practice, right? It said no external dependency, right? Gnosis validates, right? Gnosis validates itself within observer. You do not need an Egyptian or you do not need a Egyptologist to verify your own enlightenment. Translation immunity, right? While Kemeticism endlessly debate hieroglyphics meanings, Gnostics, right, operates directly in experiential truth, unaccessible truth, right? Opponents cannot debunk a person's direct encounter with the divine light. They can't do that at all because why? As the brother said, they only speaking about unbroken lineage. Them brothers ain't proved not a point of self sufficiency, proving that their Kemeticism is more practical in 2026. The trap opponents cannot escape, right? Sorry, it said the polytheistic contradiction. To prove Kemeticism is practical, right? Opponents must explain how resurrecting an ancient polytheistic state religion designed for absolute pharaoh rule functions in a decentralized modern world. As you can see, they have zero answers. They show no proof for how dead mutuality spells translate into modern psychological liberation. It said mental health and clarity in 2026. Gnostic clarity. Seeing through a social illusion provided immediate psychological armor against media manipulations, corporate control, and modern extensional dread, right? Kemetic burden. Worrying about rituals, impurity, right? Missing festivals days, or like offering natural through improper offerings creates uncertainty, spirituality, anxiety. The scholarly endorsement, right? Dr. April DeConnick, right? It said Rice University excellence highlights. It said Rice University excellence highlights how Gnostic experiential mysticism provides a reboost framework for a human self transition. Ultimate ultimate masterclass academia recognized Gnosticism as the premier masterclass in interior psychological liberation. So we got more scholarship, right? It says Dr. Hangraff confirms that esoteric inner gnosis represents the pinnacle of Western spirituality astronomy, bypassing rigged institutional hierarchies, right? True practicality means freedom from intermediaries, which Gnosticism guarantees. He said now the failure of archaeological spirituality, the museum trap. Kemeticism forces practitioners into the role of museums. Curators constantly, excavating the past rather than living in spiritual power. The living presence. Gnosticism lives entirely in the external. I'm sorry about that. It said Gnosticism lives entirely in the external now, addressing current psychological and spiritual realities instantly. Right. So why the opponents fail on epistemology, right? Epistemology, bankruptcy, opponents cannot prove how constructed rituals yield spiritual gnosis. Zero empirical output. Reconstructed polytheism yields no verifiable internal transformation compared to direct gnosis. So that means we can't get nothing from that. So as you can see, our opponents, they failed. They did not show the epistemology of Kemeticism being more practical in 2026, more than Gnosticism. Let's say the decentralized advantage of Gnosis, right? Designed for the digital age. Gnosticism requires no centralized priesthood like Kemeticism do, like Hebrewism do, or Christianity or Catholics, right? No physical holy land, no temple no temple real estate, making it infinitely scalable and practical in 2026. Decentralized spiritual awakening is the ultimate practical model for modern humanity. That's why a lot of people today practice the Kundalini. They practice Christ
Five
consciousness
minutes. Five
and things
minutes.
like that. They practice the pineal, raising the pineal gland. They practice the yin and the yang. They practice duality. You know what I mean? Gnosis just means secret knowledge, secret inner awakening, knowing who you are, becoming more self-aware of the things around you, liberating past one's lower state, you versus you. Kemeticism does not teach that. Kemeticism does not teach gnosis. Overcoming extensional dread practicality, right? Gnostic awakening, recognizing the divine spark within, neutralize the existential terror of modern materialistic nihilism. Sorry about that. Kemetic, right? Ritualism, reciting funerary spells offers zero psychological defense against modern society or modern social collapse. So basically, they dealing with like witchcrafts, voodoo, things like that, spells and things like that. That's not practical for liberation. That's not practical for knowing oneself. That's not practical knowing the spark that's within you. Gnosticism teach that, but Kemeticism does not teach that. Right? It says the indisputable core. Gnosticism built entirely on immediate mystical experience. Right? Unmatched practicality, experientially truth beats scholarly reconstruction every single time. So we just showed the scholarly. I didn't show scholarly. I didn't name scholars. Brother Dwayne, he didn't name scholars. We didn't shown how Gnosticism is more practical than Kemeticism. Finalizing the opponent dilemma, right? Checkmate for not for the Kemeticism until opponents can prove how a dead Egyptian state religion operates without a pharaoh or a Nile floods. Their practical arguments is completely dead. So they don't have nothing after this. They don't have nothing. If they can't prove, which they didn't, and they can't, because they did not prove how a dead Egyptian state religion operates without a pharaoh or now floods, which cannot be practical, and your argument is completely dead. My final arguments, the crown jewel, the ultimate reality, respects Gnosticism wins because it respects human intelligence, prizes direct realization, and refuses to rely on historical cosplay. The final verdict in 2026 practicality belongs exclusively to systems of direct immutated consciousness. My summary, Ramo's second round, exclusively victory, we have dismantled Kemeticism historical reconstruction gaps. Gnosticism stands alone as supreme practical spiritual framework of our time as in 2026. Curated by me and Dwayne across 40 ritual slides, backed by Harvard, Princeton, and Emerson scholarship. Right? We have proven conclusively that Gnosticism is infinitely more practical than Kemeticism.
1
2026.
minute.
And I just want to say this too as well. Um, the first round, the way that brother had brought out uh, uh, the scholarship was very, very, very intellectual. I like that because if you notice, these brothers did not bring no scholarship at all. These brothers came into a battle and they weren't even on the same page. You get what I'm saying? The brothers um, um, actually ran into a logical end. If you really look at it, the brothers ran out of scholarship. They had no scholarship. We brought out multiple scholarships. You know what I mean? We named actually the name of the scholars that we brought out to as well. We showed how liberation, gnosis, Gnosticism, inner knowing, self-awareness, it all it all falls becoming practical in 2026 for the humans. That's why I say a lot of people use the
That
Kundalini.
is time. Finish the thought.
Like I
Finish
said,
your
a lot
thought.
of people use the Kundalini, the Christ consciousness, and things like that. All this thing aligns in today's society as 2026, dealing with narcissism. And I land my plane here.
All right, all right. Let me remove the young blood from St. Louis presentation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why it's not removing this presentation. Hold on. Hold up. Let me get that. Where you at? Where you at? Maybe because I was clicking on the wrong one. All right. Now, it is everybody's favorite part of the debate. This is the chin check session, where each team will get 12 minutes to ask the other team as many questions as they can within a 12-minute time frame. Now, each team has 3 timeouts. There is no help from the moderator. It is the team asking the questions, time to manage. I will get involved if it stalls too much, if it begins to get too personal, if it turns into too much of a back and forth, because the team being asked questions will try to stall and waste the team who's asking the questions time. That is a common tactic in the chin check. However, it is the person, or in this case, persons, asking the questions, time to manage. You do have 3 timeouts. Now, since the Kemetic Express went first during the round section, they will go last during the chin check session. That means the the Legion of Gnosis will be asking questions first. Are y'all ready? Because time will start when you ask your first question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now remember, if you have a specific person on the team who you want to answer your question, you have to call them out first. In other words, if you got a question for the Kemet Infomonger, you have to say, Steve, step up, or Jose, step up. If you don't call a name, it is a general question and either one of them can answer.
Okay. Steve, I
Yes,
got a
sir.
question. All right. So, what's according to our debate, what scholarship as a 2026, any scholarship that you have shown within the debate that dismantled narcissism is not more practical in 2026?
Uh, Young brother Ramo, I mentioned in terms of scholarship, I mentioned that Kemeticism, in other words, the study of ancient Kemet, that you have people who have, they can acquire a bachelor's of arts, they can acquire a PhD from numerous or at least 3 U.S. universities, such as Johns Hopkins University, Brown University, or UCLA University, where they can acquire a degree, a bachelor's or a PhD, and earn up to $100,000 or more. They can work in academia, they can work in museums, or they can work in private research. So that is the practicality of Kemeticism, or studying Kemet, because you have entire departments in universities dedicated to the study of Kemet, and the same cannot be true. The same cannot be said of Gnosticism. You can't get a PhD in Gnosticism. You can study it, but you can't get a PhD in it. It is taught in universities, but there are no PhDs in Gnosticism.
Okay, one more question real fast before I let brother know darkness take over. So according to the debate, did you show or name any scholars that agreed with you?
The debate topic didn't ask, the resolution isn't about scholars. It was about the practicality. And yes, I did show the practicality of Kemeticism in terms of its origins or its roots in North Africa and Africa in general. That by studying, we can study Kemeticism in North Africa, which is an entire department in universities, and then we can gain a degree and go ahead and teach others. And earn over $100,000 a year. That is very practical. That also causes upward mobility. I also mentioned the scientific method, the papyrus, the the Edwin Smith papyrus, where it talks about how in ancient Kemet, how medical doctors, how they practice medicine, and using empirical science. Yes, they had magic and they were religious, but they also had empirical science, and they also had the scientific method. So, and also showing you that through line from ancient Kemet to modern day, and even today, there is the scientific method. And many doctors today and scientists today are trained in the scientific method, which is a critical thinking process and problem solving process that allows people today in 2026 to solve problems and to be critical thinkers and to be upwardly mobile and to increase their income and earning. Next question.
Okay, so according to what you've shown, right, which was I think the laws of Met was that the laws of Met you shown
The laws of whom?
the laws of Met, however you pronounce it. What like can
The
I ask
laws
you like
of
what was
Ma'at.
that?
I didn't mention any laws of Ma'at. Where did I?
Okay,
If you're being disingenuous if you're saying that I mentioned laws.
okay. So what you was reading from? I'm sorry. What was you reading from?
Ramo, most of my presentation was not about Kemetic spirituality. And if you try to make it seem that way, you're being disingenuous. I could say another way. You're lying.
All
You're
right,
trying to.
let me ask you this then. Can you bring up any slides that you shown of
I
any
have it.
scholars
I have it
with a
right here in
name,
front of me. I have my slides right here in front of me. This
with
is
a
the
with a
question and
name?
answer.
With,
We
hold
don't
on, real
bring up
fast. I'm
slides
asking
and
the
come
question.
up with an
I'm
answer.
asking the question real fast. I'm asking the question.
Yes,
You know
sir.
you got the slides. So on your slides, can you show the names of the scholars
I
that
cannot pull up slides, Ramo. I have this. I have printouts in front of me. I can't show it on the screen.
okay, cool.
Why?
So you
Why?
can,
Okay.
all
Okay.
right.
The
Next
the the,
question.
the debate. The
Next
debate
question.
question is about the debate
Ne-
resolution is about Gnosticism versus Kemeticism. Which is
Was it
more
more practical, right?
funny?
So I'm asking
It
you,
doesn't
can you
mention.
show
It
on
doesn't.
any of your
So,
slides
so,
that you
so
brought up?
hold
Can you
on,
show?
Ramo.
Hold on. No, no.
Why
I'm
do I?
asking you a
Why do I
question.
need a
This
scholar?
a
Why
question.
do I need a
I'm
scholar to
asking you a
tell me
question.
how
Oh,
practical
okay.
Kemeticism is in
Cool. You
2026?
don't. So you don't have
But
no
why do
slides
tell me
with
why
no
do I need a
scholarship
scholar?
to
Tell
prove
have, why is
that
naming a scholar
Kemeticism
more
was more
practical?
practical. You
How is
don't.
that because I can name a scholar that makes it more practical?
Why
I
didn't
have a
you show
degree. I have a
scholarship?
degree. I know the
So you don't
scientific
have.
method. So
So
why do I need a scholar?
then
I
why
know
didn't
what
you?
my life
So
experiences are. Why do I need
why
a
didn't you
scholar?
prove it? Why
I
didn't you
am my
prove it?
own scholar.
Why
I
didn't
am my
you?
own scholar, Ramo.
See, look,
I
I'm asking the
mentioned I
question.
mentioned
You're
the
running
Edwin
from the
Smith
questions.
papyrus.
You're running from the
All
questions.
right, all right. Check it out. Check it out. Let's get the question asked. Hold on, let me stop the time at 6:07. 6 minutes, 7 seconds. Ramo or Darkness, ask your question to whichever member of the Kemetic Express you're gonna ask it. Kemetic Express member, just answer the question. Time to start back when you start asking your question.
All right, so it's just a yes or no question. So according to our debate, you have no scholarship with names or science with names, scientists with names that actually debunk that Gnosticism is not practical in 2026. Yes or no?
I mentioned the Edwin Smith papyrus. Edwin Smith is a scholar, which is a medical papyrus. And how in ancient so Edwin Smith, that is the researcher who found this papyrus that talking about how they practiced empirical science, empirical medicine in ancient Kemet. and how that relates to the scientific method. So that does speak to the practicality of ancient Kemet, and also the scientific method is also practiced in 2026. So that is the practicality of it. Yes, I did have a scholar.
Okay, now one
and
more
and,
question
al-
for
and
you, Mr.
also and
Brother
also
Dwayne.
and also Jose had a scholar. He mentioned Budge.
So now you mentioned the scholar, right? Now can you show us a slide of you actually applying
This
these
is the
scholars
act. This is
within?
the question and round section. We
I'm
cannot pull
asking
up
you a question
slides.
really fast. Hey, look, come on, brother. You running in front of the question.
You
You've been
can't
doing this
show
the whole
slides,
time.
Raymond. You can't show
You
slides.
can. You can. Brother
You
Dwayne,
cannot
brother,
show
I'm going to let
slides.
you bring up your
You
slide.
can't show slides. You can't show
Hey,
slides
look, I
during
am my plan. Brother
during the
Darkness, you
question
want to
and
go
answer.
ahead?
You
You want to
can't
go
do
ahead
that.
and ask some questions real fast?
And neither can you.
I
You can't
stopped
do
the
that.
time at 4 minutes 23
They running
seconds.
from they running like crazy.
Just
It's
for
all good.
clarity, I stopped the time at 4 minutes 23 seconds. Just for clarity, no more screen sharing. No screen sharing during the chat check.
Okay, that's cool. I ain't know that. My fault, big bro. I ain't know that.
No, you good. You good. Time to start when you start back asking questions.
Go on here, brother Dwayne. You can get it.
He took a coffee break.
Brother Darkness.
And remember, y'all got 3 timeouts.
Yo,
Brother Darkness, you there? Go on here. Ask
yeah,
some questions. Ask some questions you want to ask to.
yeah.
He's in the Gnosis.
The Gnosis.
He's in the
Yeah,
Gnostic. The
yeah.
Gnostic.
What? So I get to ask either one of the brothers. Um, I'll ask what principles of Kemet do you or what from Kemet do you see today that we use in today's time?
The scientific method. The scientific method. Darkness.
The scientific method. Can you explain that
Oh
scientific method?
my good. Oh yeah. Okay, my brother. Explain the scientific method.
Hold
Step
on, hold
one
on,
in the
hold on, hold
scientific
on.
method. No. You
Hold
want
on,
me to
Steve.
explain? I'll explain it. Step one of the
Hold on,
scientific
Steve.
method. Develop a.
Hold on, Steve.
Let me
Hold on,
Let me
Steve.
go. Let me go. Develop a question. That's step one of the scientific method. Step two of the scientific method. Do your research, and in your research, you're coming up with a hypothesis. In the hypothesis, your hypothesis should state the independent variable, which is the one thing that's going to be changed in the experiment, and your dependent variable, which are your measurable results, right? Step three of the scientific method. Then you go ahead and you design the experiment, right? While the experiment is taking place, you're gathering information and documenting your information. That's step four, right? Step five is to state the conclusion. And in your conclusion, you say whether your hypothesis was correct or whether your hypothesis needs to be modified. Then you go back and you modify your hypothesis, you tweak your experiment, you run your experiment again, and you're looking for particular results. Once you're getting the results that you're looking for, you want to see if it's repeatable. If it is repeatable, then you publish your research. Who do y'all think
Where do
y'all
you where is your source that you got this explanation from
Oh
Kemet?
Oh my goodness, the fact that Kemet had pyramids, the fact that, and also the fact that what's it called, the Edwin Smith Papyrus tells you that they practice empirical science. Do you know what
And
empirical science is? It wasn't only a spiritual culture. They understood the
it
material
was
world. They
it,
understood the material world.
brother. I'm supposed to ask questions. You got to answer,
I
right?
answered it.
So
I answered it. I
you're
answered it.
not answering, brother.
You think I
No,
don't know what
brother.
I'm talking about?
No, you're not allowing me. So you say this comes from Kemet because they have structures, buildings, right?
No, I'm not.
So
Okay, that's one
oh,
part of evidence. I keep telling you the same thing over and over again. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, which is a medical papyrus. I keep telling you that over and over again.
okay, so the Edwin, which is a medical papyrus dealing with what medical
It is a trauma
information.
thesis. that systematically describes 48 clinical cases, including fractures, dislocations, wounds, and other injuries, often instructions for treatment and prognosis. Remarkably, it contains the first scientific reference to the brain and demonstrates a scientific observational proof approach to medicine, including cases where the physician acknowledges that a patient cannot be saved.
And when a patient could be saved.
Oh my God.
Like, explain what was the reason behind the embalming process for the mummies?
Sir,
To preserve them for the afterlife.
I understand why to preserve. I understand to preserve them, but why are they doing it? That's the question. Why are they preserving the corpse?
The debate resolution is about practicality, right? And for me to get into the embalming process and consciousness and all of this, that is not empirical and it's not practical, right? I had about 3 slides on Kemetic spirituality, right? Only 3. But the rest of my slides was about empirical science.
I'm saying, but he actually asked you a question. You didn't even answer the question. You ran from 6 questions.
I didn't run from anything. I didn't run from anything.
6 questions. You've been trying to talk over anything. The question was applied to your brother, and you jumped in and saved him. You didn't even save him. You died with him.
Listen, man. Y'all don't know who
y'all. Can you answer the question that the brother asked? We only got 7. Time out real fast. Time out.
I didn't say time out.
Time out.
Yeah, all right. You saying time out.
Time is paused at 11 seconds.
Now, I need my brother Dwayne to ask you this question again, and we need an answer from you, brother. You running. Brother Dwayne, can you please answer the question again?
Yes. Explain when they were embalming the corpse.
Time he's talking, DMG. He's talking. He'd start his time, please, DMG. Thank you.
Yeah, when they're embalming the corpse to preserve the body, why?
And that is time.
You died. That's a chin check. You died. That's a chin check. That's a chin check. Yeah, hold your face. Hold your face, Jose. Hold your face.
Time is reset at 12 minutes. Time is reset at 12 minutes. The Kemetic Express will now take over with asking questions. The Legion of Gnosis will be answering questions. Time will start when the Kemetic Express starts asking.
I have a question.
If you have a specific person on the Legion of Gnosis who you want to ask the question to, call them out. In other words, Ramo, step up, or Darkness, step up, etc.
This question is for either one of them. If Gnosticism is so practical in 2026, why weren't your slides legible? Why couldn't nobody read your slides?
Because you need to get a better computer.
Who?
You.
No, hold on. You're being disingenuous and you're lying, right? My computer works fine. Why, if Gnosticism is so practical in 2026, why couldn't anyone read your slides and Ramo's slides?
Our slides
my slides were showing just great, my brother. The audience and the judges could see my slides real good. They couldn't read your slides if Gnosticism is so practical.
It sounds like you hurt, man. So
our slides were explained very well.
You're trying to antagonize us because you guys don't have no
question. You can't answer the question, and you're lying.
You've seen my slides. Everybody's seen my slides, and you know what? You just gotta get better.
My next question, right? You mentioned to either one of you. So you're mentioning mainstream Christianity. Does mainstream Christianity view Gnostics as being heretics?
What do they got to do with anything?
Because that's what you presented on. We
didn't present heresy. Heresies.
No.
We didn't present heresies.
Brother Jose, when I spoke of mainstream,
my name is Steve. My name ain't Jose.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
My name is Kemetic Infomonger. My name ain't Jose.
Okay.
You ain't
Brother Steve. Today. Brother Steve, when I was speaking of mainstream Christianity, I said that I made it very clear that the mainstream Christianity don't know what they're talking about, that they're off. But I said, but they're still saying the word Christians, which is rooted in the Gnosticism. Nobody is speaking Kemet today. Nobody is speaking of any Kemet anything today. People are speaking about Jesus Christ and asking people to go to even.
Okay.
And once again, I pointed out that it's
Pause. Time out.
mainstream.
Stop my time. Stop. You answered, right? So, does
All right, time
Gnosticism?
is. Wait,
No,
hold
no,
on,
you stop.
Steve.
You stop,
Okay,
DMG.
all right.
Okay, stop my time again. Does Gnosticism borrow or steal from the Kemetic tradition?
No,
No,
Gnosticism don't borrow nothing from the Kemetic tradition.
no, because
no, it's not.
narcissism, the terminology. Let me answer. No, because narcissism, the terminology, right? Yes, it's a modern word, but the concept was still there. That's the answer to your
Okay.
question.
Okay. So this concept of the monad. What is the monad?
The
The mon
monad.
the
Go ahead.
Yeah, the monad is dealing with the realm that is higher than the pleroma, which is the monad is the ineffable, unexplainable, unfathomable. You cannot investigate. It's the realm that you could just say is beyond our capacity to observe.
Okay. So the monad, was it before energy and matter?
The monad is
Yes,
in.
Okay, so
yes.
that monad is new, and you got that from Kemet.
How the
You got
monad
that
gonna
from
be? How
No,
the
Kemet.
we did
monad
not
gonna
get
be?
it. We did not get
Kemet,
that from Kemet.
Concept.
Kemet
Hold on, let
predates
me answer real
Gnosis.
fast. If the
Gnosis
concept,
borrows
listen,
Gnosis
hold on,
borrows
let me
from
answer.
Kemetic
Let me
metaphysics,
answer, nigga.
Greek philosophy, Jewish scriptures,
Man, bro,
and
what is
early
wrong with this
Christian
dude?
and
Hey,
early
man, what?
Hey,
Christian.
Hold on.
let him
Stop the
waste his
time.
clock, brother
Stop the
Pause.
Ramo. Let
time.
him
Pause.
waste his
Stop
clock.
the time.
Stop.
I stopped the time at 8 minutes 17 seconds. I think it was Ramo. Whoever said it. We not calling names up here, even though it's the chin check,
It was
even
my
though
fault.
we
I'm
get
sorry. My
heated, we
fault. My
get
apologies.
frustrated, etc., etc.
My
No
apologies. I'm
name
sorry, Steve.
calling.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Time
My
starts
apologies.
I,
back.
I'm
I,
trying to
I,
answer.
I ain't even hear him. I ain't even hear him.
I got you. I heard it. I'm just letting
Hey,
everybody
brother
know.
Ramo.
Ain't no
He wants
name
to
Okay,
wait,
calling.
so
run
did
his
the
clock
judges
out. Let
hear
him
it?
run his
Did the
clock out.
judges hear that ad hom? Did the judges hear that ad hom? Because I ain't hear it.
I'll take that point. It's all good.
All right, listen. Time start back.
Okay, Ramo, you mentioned Dr. April Korak. What is the relevance of quoting Dr. April Korak?
To prove that narcissism was more practical than
Okay,
Kemeticism by showing.
What did April Korak
Bro, I can't
say?
even answer the question. That's crazy.
No,
Come on,
no,
man.
no.
Let's go.
She proved. How did she prove it? How did she prove it, Ramo?
How did she prove it? Through
Yeah.
she proved it through by showing that it was more practical by showing that liberation.
Analysis, comparisons.
I was just going to say that. You get what I'm
Through
saying?
analysis, through comparisons, through trial and
Comparison of
error,
what?
You know, like
Comparison of what?
meditation,
through
and things like
scholar.
that.
Of what?
Is
Comparison of what?
meditation test works. How you ever been like meditating? How you been like in a
So,
hypnosis?
so,
You
brother
ever like
Steve,
Hold on,
hypnosis?
one
through
person. Both your. Oh, I asked Ramo, and Darkness is answering. I asked
I mean,
Ramo. Let
it's
Ramo
all good,
talk.
but I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, did you not butt in for
I
Jose?
didn't hear you
Hey, brother,
specifically
Nah,
calling
I
out,
Jose,
said
but
hey,
Ramo.
I'll
I
hey,
said
address it.
Ramo. Ramo
All
mentioned.
you
right.
getting
I
mad?
Ramo
stopped.
presented on
Hold on.
Dr.
Hold
Quote.
on. I stopped the
Calm
time at
down,
7 minutes 16
calm
seconds.
down.
If he asks a specific member of the team a question, it's only for that specific member. The other member of the team has to remain muted. Time starts back.
Yes, Ramo. So how does she prove that Gnosticism is more practical in 2026? What did she say?
Okay,
Because
I'm
I
gonna
couldn't read
look
it.
this up again through experiments. You know what I mean? Through like tests and analysis, data, things like that.
So, but I mean, what practical in what way? I don't
She
understand
was
what is.
telling you she was showing you how you can actually liberate yourself through meditation, through
Could do what?
hypnosis,
You could do what to
through
yourself?
to liberate yourself
Uh huh.
through meditation,
Uh
through
huh.
hypnosis,
Uh huh.
through frequencies. You know what that is, right?
Okay. And so you also mentioned the pineal gland. What is the practicality of the pineal gland in 2026, Ramo?
To help the Christ consciousness, to help the Kundalini,
The
the
coup-
uprising of the uprising of the inner man, the
what
uprising of the inner man,
what is the practicality of that?
the practicality of what?
Of raising the kundalini and the Christ consciousness. What is the, because remember I defined
Because it's
practice
you versus it's you versus you. Nothing
concerned
else.
with the actual
You know,
doing
it's your lower self
of
versus your higher self.
and
Your
with
lower
this
nature versus. I'm trying
ideas.
to. Yeah.
So once the kundalini is raised, right?
Okay, what
What
question is this?
what is the practical benefits of raising the kundalini in 2026?
To help the inner self liberate, to become self more awareness of your surroundings. You get what I'm saying? To become more pure from within,
Hmm.
knowing thyself
Hmm.
through identity spark. Because you know a lot of people go through identity crisis when dealing
Hmm.
with the inner spark and things
Hmm.
like that.
And so through Gnosticism, Gnostic helps me to raise my kundalini, and I raise my kundalini by meditating. That's what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, you can
Okay.
meditate. You can use frequency. A lot of
Hmm.
people use frequency. All you need
Hmm.
is headphones, brother.
Hmm. Okay. My other question is this: so the Legion of Gnosis seem to focus a lot on spirituality, right, and spiritual practices. That's what you guys focused on, not me, right? My question is, how are these spiritual practices practical in 2026? What are the advantages of these spiritual practices, Gnostic spiritual practices? How is that practical in 2026? Because it's
It's
not
like
clear.
it's like you aiming it. It's like you asking me the same question, but just wording it. You know what I mean? Differently. I guess I repeat myself again. I guess it's practical. Like I said again, through self awareness, knowing who you are spiritually from in within. Like I said, it's you versus you, your lower nature versus your higher nature. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you dove into Kemeticism and seen how duality works, right?
This is a debate, my brother, and I'm not trying to agree with you at all at this point in time.
I'm here.
You mentioned Dr. Walter uh, Hagareth or something like that. You mentioned two scholars. You mentioned Dr. April Hornick, and then a Dr. Walter Haggard something. Do you remember that doctor that you mentioned, Ramo?
Yes, sir. Well, you
Okay,
mean brother?
why,
You
why,
mean brother? You mean
why
brother Dwayne? You mean brother Dwayne? Brother Dwayne that mentioned them, but I
No,
was willing to
Not
expound.
Dwayne. You didn't. Dwayne didn't do that. You did that. So what did this guy do? What's the reason for bringing him up?
I'm not shifting it. I'm just letting you know
Not
it was brought
sure.
up in the first round. That's it. Now,
No,
but what he did the
that was
same
showing
thing. The first, he did the same thing that the first doctor did. You know what I'm saying? They showed,
the same thing.
you know what I mean, how Kemetic. Yeah, they showed how
Right.
Kemetic system was a
Right.
modern reconstruction.
Okay. So my next question is, why were you guys assuming that we were going to focus so much on Kemetic spiritual practices and attempting to recreate Kemetic spiritual practices in 2026? Why were you assuming that?
I didn't assume anything. I showed straight facts. Facts. I
But
showed scholarship.
that's not what we presented on. That's not what uh, uh, um, Jose Jose presented on text, and I presented on the scientific method. I kept talking about upward mobility and wealth accumulation and an education and a PhD. These things are practical. These things are realistic. So so I'm not done. Um, right.
All right,
So
y'all. My
huh?
screen just froze. I had to come in through my phone. So, Steve, I know you usually keep time. I don't know if you're doing it this time, but my timer
I wasn't
is
keeping
gone.
time. I keep going. I ain't keeping on time. I keep going.
Yeah, my timer is completely gone. I want to say you had like 4 minutes left when that happened, but it was a little bit of a time frame before I was able to get back on. So
Give me 2
if
more
it's
minutes.
cool with everybody, I'm gonna let Steve go for another 2 minutes because I literally don't know where he cut off,
Okay.
and my screen is still froze. So y'all keep going. I'm gonna mute up, but I'm gonna give Steve 2 more minutes, and then we gonna call it.
You gotta restart your computer, right? You gotta reboot.
Yep.
All right, give me 2 more minutes. Okay, so um, darkness seemed to say that Muslims and Jews um, are aligned with Gnosis, and Ramo is saying that Muslims and Jews aren't aligned with Gnosis. So, can either one of you explain this conflict?
Well,
Yeah, I'll answer it
hold
because
on, no, no, hold on
you
real
put
fast.
words
Hold
in my
on.
mouth.
Yeah,
One,
because
one,
I never said that at all, brother. If you can't bring up nothing on the screen, I don't even want to answer that question
okay, so
because you
you're
put
not
words in
answering.
my mouth, bro.
Don't answer,
No,
Ramo.
you're being no, you're
Go
being
ahead,
He's
disingenuous, bro.
put he's
I'm
putting
asking
words in
you.
our mouth. He's
You
lying to
you're
ask
lying, bro,
I'm
questions.
because you
lying.
feel like you're
I'm
lying because
lying.
you
Y'all didn't say
died.
that. Y'all
No,
didn't say that.
Yeah, people. This is
one
all on
time did I
record.
ever bring up.
Yeah, that's what y'all said.
This is all on record.
That's what
I hold on,
judges go back.
brother Steve. You
Judges
asked a
go back
question,
and listen to Raymond's presentation and
Listen,
listen to
Raymond never said Jews.
brother
and
Steve.
Raymond is talking
You asked a
about
question.
Jews and Muslims as being aligned
Now,
to Gnostics.
Brother
And then
Dwayne
and then
says
and
something
then,
again.
and then
I'm gonna correct
Raymond
you
says
again.
that no,
Brother
there's
Dwayne
conflict
says
there
something in the
between
first round about
Jews
the
and,
Jews.
and
Second
Muslims
round,
and
Raymond
Gnostics.
never brought up the Jews.
And he's putting words in my mouth while he's doing it, brother Ramo. He's
Go ahead,
lying on
answer
me.
the question for
Hold
this
on,
brother real fast.
that I was
He's lying, saying that I said something I didn't say.
Bring
spirituality.
clarity real fast, brother Steve, to his question.
Right. So, what is the Kemetic gap that you keep talking about? What is this Kemetic gap?
The Kemetic gap is that look at today's society. Nobody is Kemet priests. Nobody is talking Kemet anything. People are
Okay,
saying they're Christians.
stop,
People are
stop.
rooted
You
in
already,
the Christian
you already
testimony.
explained it. Stop. Maybe where you're from, but there are people
Everywhere.
there are people who do that. Darkness. Maybe because you're in the dark. Take your head out the dark and put your head in the light.
No, brother,
Stop. We're
there
done.
isn't Kemet
We're
priests anywhere.
done. We're done.
All
Give
right,
me one,
that's time.
give me one
That
nation
is
that's ran
time.
like
Done.
Kemet.
That is
Done.
time. That is time. That is the chin check session. I am still waiting for my computer to reset. So I'm going to start the timer on my other phone. I am going to let the Legion of Gnosis get ready to close out. Let me go to my timer. I apologize. I don't know what the heck happened, but yeah, I got everything froze up and I was gone for a second. So please forgive me for that. I know that was highly unexpected. So give me a second to get everything set up with this timer and I'll let y'all close out and then we'll open it up for the chat. Give me 1 second.
I'm ready to close out on their head, man. I'm ready to close out on their neck. I already see Steve's quiet. Steve quiet for a reason. I'm sorry, Jose quiet for a reason. Jose done went into his casket.
Hold on. DMG did you start the timer, sir? DMG.
I got the time started at 3 minutes. The first team up will be the Legion of Gnosis because again, the Kemetic Express went first during the round section. They opened first, so they'll close last. So Kemetic Express, I apologize. I'm on my phone. I can't share nobody's screen.
That's
That is
fine.
on me. That's not on y'all. So Legion of Gnosis, y'all will close out first. You got 3 minutes to do so. And then we'll turn it over to the Kemetic Express. Time starts when you start talking.
Yeah. So yeah, we got Kemet provided the spiritual engine concepts of the soul's journey, divine sparks, resurrection, Osiris, Horus, cosmic duality. First century Rome Gnosis refitted these primordial Egyptian concepts into an abstract, philosophical, and universalized format for the broader Greeker Roman world at that time. Um, so we also know that the American legal system is deeply rooted into the Western legal tradition, which is historically synthesized from Roman law, which once again picked up from the Gnosis concepts back in first century and second century Rome after Christ supposedly entered the flesh and was crucified. This takes us back to Kemet. Kemet, once again, is the infantile stage of Gnosis. Gnosis is the more advanced stage because we as men, we were in all ranges of academia less astute than we are today. We advanced over time, and the Constitution, law and order, all of these things that we have today, Senate, state, and the president in the midst, we being governed by the people, we the people having the power over governance, we elect officials, voting, these things. All this comes from Gnostic perspectives. Once again, Gnosticism is scripture. Gnosticism is Christianity, not the fake Christianity where people show up on a Sunday and say, hallelujah, amen, in the blood of Jesus, just go to Jesus. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people that look at their Bible as an academic book, not just some Harry Potter fairy tale book. It's an academic book, the same way a mathematician looks at a math book, the same way a scientist looks at a science book. It's the same way a Christian will look at the Bible. It's academic. It has formula. It has application. You use it in a certain way. You use it in a certain way to benefit and for the people to, and our nation benefits from these principles, which is rooted in Christianity, which is Gnosticism, not Kemet. Kemet didn't give us law and order. Kemet didn't give us the three-party presidential system. Kemet didn't give us diplomacy and certain clinical responses for psychiatric problems, anything psychological. All of that comes from Christian methods rooted in Gnosis that takes us back to the first and second century Rome when the Bible was being implemented in the first and the second Testament, New Testament. So Kemet is out of the park. Kemet doesn't do nothing. Once again, we don't see Kemet priests as president, as our police officer, as our detectives, as our brain surgeons, as our therapists. No, they're Christians, Muslims, and Jews because that's the worldview that makes sense with worldly academia, meaning science and mathematics, not Kemet. Kemet is rooted in folklore, weird stuff like.
That is time. I actually gave you like 15 more seconds because I was
All
talking.
right, appreciate
I was
it.
muted. So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to start the Kemetic Express time at 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Time will start when you start talking.
Jose, let me go first so
Okay.
you can chime in. Let me go first. First, I need to say that Kemet is not in the infantile stage of anything. Maybe some of y'all are in the infantile stage, right? That Kemet was able to lift 3 4 ton blocks, right? Kemet created some of the megalithic structures that still are around today that have lasted for 3 4 5,000 years, right? Kemet um, um, in instituted empirical science and the scientific method, right? And that's what I presented on as well. That Kemet is the foundation of Western civilization and Western science, right? And we know this today, right? Kemet is the foundation of the scientific method, which is still used today, right? I also mentioned the Edwin Papyrus, and that dates back to 1600 BCE in Kemet. Um, these gentlemen here are being disingenuous and they're not telling the truth. They are straight out lying because my presentation also talked about the that we know that today there are entire departments in university dedicated to the study of Kemet. So maybe Kemet is very relevant because today we have universities dedicated to the study of Kemet, and these people who graduate with a bachelor's of arts and PhDs from these institutions go on and earn over $100,000 per year. Right? That is very practical. Yes, Miss. Yes, Jose. Would you like to add on?
Yeah, I will agree with a lot of what you said, but I also want to point out you couldn't see the slides. They didn't bring up any of their Gnostic texts. They didn't show us any Gnostic structure in 2026 that we should follow. They don't have any Gnostic priests. They don't have a Gnostic church, but they're talking to a man who's a member of the Asar Ascent Society with several hundred members, the biggest actual Kemetic spiritual organization in the world. But they don't know that. You understand? Dubai is a Kemetic priest. You had Infodisi and several others who are Kemetic priests. You showed us zero Gnostic structure. He mentioned the Edwin Smith papyrus. That is the standard for trauma in the world. That's the first mention of the brain and cerebral spinal fluid.
And Imhotep.
Talks about from the head, right?
Imhotep.
And Imhotep was the first doctor in history. So we're not just talking out the side of our backside.
Imhotep preceded the Hippocratic Oath and Greek
Exactly.
medicine.
And what you did there was what the dung beetle would have rolled up to feed her young. Let's just say that. So all of that talk didn't prove anything. We couldn't see a slide. You're just talking.
Kemetic
No.
has no
This is our
longevity.
closing. This is
Kemet
our
died
closing.
out because
This
Kemet
is
is
our
not a
closing.
living
This is our closing.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
That is time. That is time. You can't talk during somebody closing. So
Oh, my bad.
you
Straight
didn't know
disrespect.
that?
Oh no, I heard everybody stop talking, so I thought I thought I could talk. Okay, everybody stopped talking. That's what I heard.
All right, so that is officially the end of the first tandem debate. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for falling off. I don't know what the hell happened. My screen literally just froze up. I don't know how much time Steve and Jose lost or gained as a result of me falling off. I'm gonna go back and look because I think when I fell off, the clock fell off. So whatever time was on the clock when the clock fell off, give me an indication of that. Nothing can be done about it now. That is on me for the technical difficulties, and it just happened out of nowhere. I stopped hearing people talk. I looked up, my screen was black. So I hopped on my phone as fast as I could and reset my computer. So again, that's on me for my technical difficulties. I do apologize to all 4 debaters and to all 26 people watching. We're gonna open it up for the chat. If you have a question or comment for either team or a specific member of a team, please come up and provide your comment or your question. Now, these 4 men just debated. They not about to debate you. So when they answer your question, that is it. We will move on to the next person. Now, if for whatever reason there's only one person up here, we may be able to go ahead and get a quick back and forth. But if we have multiple people up here, we just moving to the next person. If they decline to go back and forth with you, respect it. It is what it is. They just had a debate. They not about to debate you. So you have a question, you'll get your question answered. If you have a comment, you'll get your comment responded to. But that will be the end of it. Hope that's understood. And with that being said, damn, I just moved Ramo out. Ramo, come back. My bad. I did that. That was on me. I thought I was removing something else and it kicked you off. Come back if you can. All right, link is in the chat. Come up if you got a question or comment for either team. Let me get Ramo back up in here. And let me let him know I did that on accident. That was on me. Again, apologies to the chat and to the debaters. And listen, business is about to pick up. If the brother can get connected, business is about to pick up because we got that old serpent. We got the corrupter of souls, the father of lies, the most sinister debater in Worldview Wars Debate League, the man who gots to stay away from my sister Michelle Turner, Lucifer, the devil. Who you got a question or comment for?
Oh, I need that comment with the what they call themselves, the geriatric warriors. What's their team name? I think their name was the geriatric warriors. Yeah, my bro Kimmy Infomonger and Uncle Jose didn't show up for the whole debate. But my comment is this:
The Kemetic Express. The Kemetic Express.
Oh yeah, that's some geriatric shit. But anyway, bro, I didn't know Sir Bacon was ancient Egyptian. Because, you know what I'm saying? My man said during his debate that the scientific method was in ancient Egypt. Well, we know Sir Bacon, and you even mentioned hypothesis, by the way. Sir Bacon is integral in discovering the scientific method. So I didn't know he was ancient Egyptian.
Lucifer, what are the steps of the scientific method?
Well, you named them.
Right. So is the scientific method, is it essential? Is it critical in empirical science?
You can't bullshit me, bro.
I'm asking you a question, yes or no? Yes
that has
or no?
Nothing to do with, no, non sequitur.
I'm asking you a question, that's yes or no, Lucifer. Is that yes or no? Is it essential in empirical science?
Hold on, Lucifer. What's your question?
My question is, I did not know. I mean, when did Sir Bacon become ancient Egyptian?
Okay, I asked you, is the scientific method essential in empirical science? That's what
This is why you get your ass whooping in the debate with the devil.
Is it
you will never
empirical science?
With the devil because he can't answer a simple question because he know he fucked up.
You're giving credit to Bacon or whomever that is, who's a European. But
you don't know who Sir Bacon is now.
Whomever that is, man.
Damn, you don't know who discovered the scientific method.
Tell me that the people of ancient Kemet didn't have empirical science. That's not true. They obviously had empirical science.
Everybody heard you. Science. Everybody heard you make the claim, the definitive statement that ancient Egyptians had the scientific method. Now,
they had the scientific method. Maybe they didn't call it that, but they had to have a scientific method. Maybe they didn't call it that.
This is why I'm gonna put your ass on a milk carton when we debate.
Yeah,
because
okay.
You geriatric niggas.
That's why you're trying to debate me.
I'm not debating you right now. I'm making a statement.
For those who don't know, if Lucifer gets past Hemi at Debate Mania on September 20th in the main event at Night of the Living Arguments in October, the Kemet Infomonger will be waiting on him. So you may get to see these brothers tangle. I don't know where all this animosity is coming from, but we may get to see this happen. A literal devil, the father of lies, the fallen one, against a demonic Kemetic mummy from the Duat. Lucifer, go ahead and wrap it up. We'll come back around to you. But what's your final statement?
My final statement is this dude is fugazi. Everybody heard him make the definitive claim during this debate that ancient Egyptians had the scientific method. And anybody with a smartphone, this is why I say the phones got smarter and you niggas got dumber. Anybody with a smartphone can Google who discovered the scientific method. It ain't no damn Imhotep. Stop it. Damn.
All right. We're going to move on to my brother and your brother, the Muslim of Muslims on in the Worldview Wars Debate League and on Paradigm Shift. Nathaniel Hughes, who you got a question or comment for?
I just got a comment, man. I enjoyed watching the debate. It was very entertaining, man. I wish the best for both of you brothers, man. Both of the teams, and yeah, it's some memorable, clippable moments in here. Good job.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
No doubt, no doubt. Anybody want to respond to what our brother just said?
Yashu need to stop before he gives himself.
No, not Joshua.
Oh.
To what Nate just said.
No, I said, I told him thank you very much. I appreciate it. And let me shout out my
No. We not. Steve and Joshua had they back and forth.
No, I'm shouting out my Kemetic Express teammate. I'm not talking about Joshua.
Go ahead.
I'm thanking my Kemetic Express teammate for being a great teammate. It was a great debate. You don't want me to respond to Yashu, no problem.
Now, you'll get your chance. I'm sure he got some smoke for you when we come back around to him. My brother, Mr. Who Hurt You, Paul, who you got a question or comment for?
Well, first, I want to make a comment and then I have a question. I just want to say, Joshua, I hate you for getting to my question first with Steve. But I'm glad you went there with him. But Steve, here's my question. I want to make a statement to you. When you talk about practicality, you talked about education wise and career. The practicality of Gnosis is a personal thing, right? So you have things like self-observation, recognizing certain patterns within yourself, becoming less controlled by external circumstances. These are the things that Gnosis teaches you for practicality for your personal life. So as far as like when you talk education, it may not teach you, where you can go into and start studying and making all this money, but it teaches you about valuing yourself, how to really love yourself, focus on yourself. That's the practicality of Gnosis. And that's all I want to say.
All right. We're going to bring it back around to that old serpent, the devil.
I got a comment for Jose, the BAN up here. I'm just gonna say that, bro. Don't talk to me. You were not a part of this entire debate.
Listen. If you have no respect for me, don't address me. Don't address me that way.
I'm addressing you. You left your man by himself. You left your man on an island by himself to get beat the hell up.
I told you,
man, like I said, nigga.
You don't have nothing to say to me.
I don't respect you, nigga, because you left your man out there to get jumped.
Because you're acting like a little girl.
Hey, who does that? Your man got jumped, nigga.
You running behind me.
Oh, was you at, nigga? Like weak ass internet. Hey, bro, stop that tough shit. You left this nigga up there to get beat up by two niggas. Weak ass nigga.
Yeah, but guess what?
That's my comment, nigga. Like I said, I made it. You left your partner to get beat up by himself.
Why don't you
all right.
I ain't say, hey, look, this is my time to talk to you, nigga.
No.
The devil is up here being devilish.
No, the devil is
why did
acting like
you let the devil, Jose, you let the devil sliver up your leg and bite you, man. Now you ain't got in your body, Jose. Jose, you start screaming immediately, brother. You start screaming immediately, man. Why you let him do it to me?
It's nothing funny about what you said.
Screaming immedely, brother.
I told you.
Get you right. Like it took him 2 seconds to get you, Jose. I don't mute you can't
brother Jose in his slippers again.
Listen, it took him 2 seconds to get you screaming uncontrollably, Jose. Come on, brother.
Dang. Got him out of slippers.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother. He turned. He went from Lucifer to the demiurge on you, brother. Calm down. Nathaniel Hughes, man. I'm gonna go back to you, my brother.
Oh man, hey, this is hilarious, bro. That's all I gotta say about it, man. This is funny. This is real funny, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, Jose know this is the devil, man. Why don't get in your? You see, Steve ain't getting his bodies. Steve went back and forth, and then Steve literally went back and forth for a second, and then leaned back and started chilling. Jose started screaming. Come on, Jose, don't get in your body, man. Don't get in your body, man. You know what the devil is here for, man. You know what he here. Michelle say, DMG, every time you let that man around, he causes chaos and confusion. That's what the devil do.
That's his job.
I don't like that DMG.
Hey, y'all remember he ducking questions.
I'm geriatric bandages. I'm geriatric in the bandages.
Hey, y'all watch these brothers literally duck that chin check the whole time. They would not answer the questions.
Darkness. Go back in the darkness. Go hide in the darkness. That's where you belong.
You left your man's hanging.
Stay in the darkness because you never came into the light. You never came into the light of Gnosticism. You're a heretic, darkness. Stay in the
heretic. You sound like a mainstream Christian, brother Jose.
Your man's left you hanging like a dry rag.
Let me see if my brother Paul. Got another question or comment from one of y'all. Go ahead, Paul.
My shit, damn.
We can hear you.
We heard you, though. We can
hear you. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Very well.
Bring it out, Paul.
Damn, the motherfucker keep muting, man. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
We can hear you, though. We can hear you.
Okay, right now you can.
Yes.
Steve, brother Steve, because I didn't hear the other brother talk too much, so I'm not trying to attack you personally, but when it comes to Kemetic practicality, aside from education, how else does it benefit the community or person?
Sir, Paul, I focused on education. You have no issues with the educational part of it, so I'll leave it there. Let's just leave it there.
He ran.
You know what? He did that in chin check round too.
No, sir.
It's all good.
I didn't debate Paul. I didn't debate
Paul.
Paul. I debated Ramo and darkness. Right? I didn't debate Paul. I debated Ramo and darkness. And
Paul he just asked you a question. That's it.
Heard when I mentioned education, right? The bachelor's degree, Bachelor of Arts, and PhD, right? And that's one of the practicalities of Kemeticism.
You didn't show not a lick of practicality nor practical. You didn't even define the meaning of practical.
Paul heard one of them.
Brother Dwayne was flawless. He showed you the meaning of practical.
Paul heard one of them.
All right. So check it out. This is what we're gonna do. We don't have nobody else hitting the link. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Brother Ramo or Brother Darkness, do either of you have any last words for the people as it relates to the Legion of Darkness in this first tandem debate?
The Legion of Gnosis.
I'd like to say, I'd like to say, peaceful blessings to everybody that attended in the chat, the audience, those that came up and spoke. A lot of intelligent brothers and sisters. The conscious community. I have hope for the conscious community. I can see that, despite whatever judgments that they give us, the conscious community, the inner cities, the so-called ghettos and the rural streets that they say, a lot of really hard-hitting, talented brothers and sisters, man. They're tapped into the Gnosis. They're going within. They're starting to they're starting to question the mainstream institutions, the mainstream narratives, the lies. And I felt like me and our brother Ramo, we did our job today. We showed where why Christianity is one of the thriving religions of today. We showed the academia behind it, the culture behind it, all of the science and every the education that came with it, starting from Kemet all the way up to about around first, second century Rome, where it hit its advancements. Kemet was thriving. It was one of the doctrines they used during their earlier progressions. Once they started to learn literature and certain things. But I felt like the brother really, I feel like the brother really hung himself when he said that Kemet is where they established the scientific, um, basically saying that the scientific standard, saying that it originated in Kemet. Uh, not really. You're saying like the scientific method. We didn't. No, I don't believe in that, brother. I believe you failed on that one because you couldn't tell us how why the embalmment was happening. You ran from that
Okay.
question. I felt like
All right, brother Darkness, brother Darkness. I was just this is basically just a quick wrap up. We're not gonna
okay.
reignite the debate.
All right. Yeah, I was just basically saying like why I felt like like the things that I thought that he would answer, like he didn't. He ran from, and it just disappointed me, man.
All right, all right, all right. Brother Steve or brother Jose.
I'll, I'll, I'll,
Any final thoughts?
Wait,
I'll
wait,
go.
Steve,
I'll go.
hold on.
Let me go.
Let
Let me
me
go. It
just,
seems that I live. It seems that I live rent free in these people's heads, particularly darkness. In terms of the scientific method, it may not have been called the scientific method. Maybe Bacon, whomever coined it, but it doesn't mean to say that Kemet didn't know of it or didn't practice it. It doesn't mean that they did not have empirical science, because they most definitely had empirical science. They had empirical medicine, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to do what they were able to do with those megalithic structures. And also Western civilization, this very same civilization, also learned from Kemet.
There it is. There it
There it
is.
is.
All right. So the Legion of Gnosis, the Kemetic Express, have made history in the Worldview Wars Debate League with the first ever tandem debate. The judges will make their decisions, and we will find out who is the first ever tandem division champions this coming Thursday. Again, y'all tune in for the Fallout Results Show this Thursday. We got a special addition to the panel, none other than the most high goddess of high cheekbones herself,
Yes.
Light Brown, host of Step Into the Light with Light Brown every Wednesday right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. What up, sis?
Hey. I want to say congratulations to all you brothers for making history on Paradigm Shift. But I do want to say that Brother Steve is right. Modern science acknowledges that no one person or one place established the scientific method. Rather, it developed over thousands of years. They quote places like Kemet, Mesopotamia, even Greece, and places like that. So we have to look at that, and that is a scientific fact that they acknowledge that. Also, I wanted to ask Brother Dwayne, you say they don't use Kemet is not talked about anywhere. It's not seen anywhere. But if you look on your dollar bill, it's right there.
When you talk about these,
They
yeah, you talk
have,
about the pyramid.
and their symbolism is all over America.
You talk
The
about the
symbolism
pyramid.
itself, the symbolism itself is all over America. You have the obelisk, you have all of these different things. If you look around you yourself, you will see all of the symbolism from Kemet all through America.
Well, my
Plus,
whole my
plus you
stance
have
from the my stance the entire time was Kemet is the infantile early stages, the most basics. It's the very basics when we were just learning literature. We were just getting into certain technological things that we are today. But it was all basic back then. It wasn't. It isn't what it is today. Otherwise, we would still be thriving in it. Kemet would still be would be on everyone's tongue, but that's not the case.
Well, if it's the basics, then I mean it's the root, right?
Yeah, but I made that very clear with Brother Steve and Brother Jose. I made it very clear. That's why I said infantile stage. I kept making it very clear that Kemet is the beginning, one of the launch pads of the academia that we have today. But it was out like a snake outgrows its skin. Kemet was outgrown because a lot of the stuff that they were believing in back then were debunked, and we evolved over time. And then we came into what we know today as Gnosticism, which branched off into mainstream Christianity or Catholicism that was hijacked by the colonists.
I mean, I fail to see where you even prove that. Just like the brother said, they still look at Kemet today as something to be highly revered. If you couldn't revere, if that wasn't the case, then you would not be able to go.
All right. Remember, we not
Okay.
getting in the back and forth with
All
the.
right. Well, you can't go to you can't get a degree in Gnosticism, but you definitely can get a degree in Kemetic studies.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. So, family, Thursday is the aftermath, or I'm sorry, I said the aftermath, the Fallout results show. We're gonna find out who the first Tandem Division Champions are of the Worldview Wars Debate League. Y'all tune in for that, and we are on the road to Debate Mania. So make sure y'all stay tuned. We're going to continue to tell y'all how y'all can watch it. I put a link in the chat to let y'all know how y'all can watch it. $14.99 membership. Go ahead, bro.
Lucifer, why don't you get yourself a partner and come into tandem and get some of this geriatric smoke?
Oh,
man.
Oh,
man.
Clean face.
Man.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna have my phone. I'm gonna have my cell phone as my partner, because tonight that's basically what the fuck you did. Because Jose was nowhere to be fucking found for the duration of the goddamn debate. How about that?
That's facts. That's facts.
Hey, man.
Jose was asleep.
Hey, man, listen. Why y'all play? Don't. This old serpent, the devil, man.
Hey, DMG, and I might add this as well. This nigga just trying to say Western civilization is jacking from Egypt. Yeah, like we got nuclear fission from a bunch of people playing with fucking mud bricks. Please shut the fuck up talking to me.
4-ton mud bricks. 4-ton mud bricks, yeah. Granite mud bricks, yeah. Granite mud bricks.
Right. Sand castles. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Shut your ass up.
4-ton mud bricks. That a crane
Michelle.
will snap a crane. Okay.
Michelle, debate Mania will be live. You just have to be a channel member to see it. That's all. It will be live though. It will be live. You just have to pay that $14.99 tier. Now again, whether it's 5 people in there, 10 people, or 20, it's gonna be live, and we're gonna make it do what it do. You just got to pay that $14.99 tier.
Hey, brother DMG, let me add something to that. That $14.99, don't even worry about that, because on the 19th of September, I'll make all that $14.99 worth your while. Come on out and see me debate. And like my brother DMG says, it's gonna be some Muslim on Muslim intellectual violence.
That's a fact.
Come out and see it.
That's a
And
fact.
you talking to one of the debates of the year holders, so you know what it's gonna be. I plan to bring the showmanship with me.
Brother Nathaniel Hughes taking on Khalil Shabazz.
Yes, sir.
Was Master Ford Muhammad, Allah in the flesh.
Muhammad Muslim on Muslim violence. I love it.
Muslim on Muslim intellectual violence. As Timothy has said in the chat, Quran on Quran crime. So listen, we about to get out of here. Shout out to everybody that came on the panel. Shout out to these 4 debaters who made history with this tandem debate. Tune in Thursday to find out who the tandem champions are. And they got a lot of competition ahead. All right, man, will it be the Kemetic Express or will it be the Legion of Gnosis? Shout out to the Worldview Wars Debate League World Champion, Lucifer the Devil, that old serpent. Stay away from my sister Michelle Turner, by the way. Shout out to the Muslim of Muslims in the Worldview Wars Debate League, Nathaniel Hughes. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. It's your brother DMG, a.k.a. the infamous. We're going to be black at it again. Might go live tomorrow just to see what y'all thought about the first tandem debate. Once again, I apologize for my technical difficulties. Screen just froze up out of nowhere. Don't know what happened. I think my wife may have disconnected the internet so I can get my butt upstairs. But either way, might go live tomorrow, man. See what y'all thought about the first tandem debate. My brother Hayru Conscious has an interview with A1, the leader of the Titans Debate League, tomorrow, right here on Paradigm Shift TV 314. It'll be dual screened on Heavy Hitters Debate League. They're going to be talking about A1 tournament over there on Titans and what Hayru is doing to get heavy hitters back established with his world title and his continental title. So if y'all interested in joining either one of those tournaments, y'all can hop on and chop it up with those brothers tomorrow night. So that'll be around 7:15 Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. Just look on the channel. I get that scheduled ASAP. But tune in Thursday. We're going to find out who the new tandem champs are. Wednesday, Step Into the Light with Light Brown. I believe the Average Black Man show is on Tuesday with Timotheus. And we might even get a devil. Maybe we'll call it the Devil's Due. Joshua was just going to have to pick a day, but he always be working. So I know y'all will hate if the devil got a show, which is why I'll probably end up doing it. So that being said, man, Jose got the Kemetic takeover, but he don't never do no shows no more. So listen, come back Thursday, find out who the new tandem champs are. Come back Wednesday, check out Light Brown. Come back tomorrow, check out Hayru. Paradigm Shift TV 314, Worldview Wars Debate League. Debate Mania is on the way. Till next time, we out. That's peace. Y'all can see what we got coming up for Debate Mania as y'all get ready to get out of here.
Yo, Worldview's Wars. One last time, one more fight. We've been here before, blood on the floor. You know my name, I know yours. No backing down, no turning away. We settle it all today. Just one more fight about a lot of things, and I will give up everything to be free of you again. Yeah. Just one more fight about a lot of things, and I will give up everything to be free of you again. Yeah. Old wounds ignite, truth meets spite. Two rivals collide under the lights. No backing down, no turning away. We settle it all today. Just one more fight about a lot of things, and I will give up everything to be free of you again, yeah. Just one more fight about a lot of things, and I will give up everything to be free of you again, yeah. One final round, no safe way out when the smoke clears. No more doubt. Say what you came to say. Put everything on the line.